Welcome to the stream, my friends. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today we're back with the Legendary Lords Tournament. This is going to be Group I, if I'm not mistaken. And the four champions for today are going to be Eltharion the Grim, Manfred von Karstein. We also do indeed have Luther Harkon the Pirate King, and Ungrim Iron Fist the Slayer King. So a fair amount of kings here. We got 2 kings out of 4. Should be good. Sorry we didn't stream over the weekend. We had Lady Trin and I had some adventures. It was quite a bit of fun, but now we are back in business. We are going to be streaming pretty much every single day this week. So today we have the Legendary Lords Tournament. Tomorrow I'm probably going to have the first Team Haggard. Of course, you guys saw the Team Hype trailer thing we put up a couple weeks ago, but we're going to be doing our team tournament. So that's the team that you guys saw with myself, Aerocrastic, King of the Dead, Lotus Moon, and Hadries. So that will be going up tomorrow. And then from there, we'll probably do like a King of the Hill on Wednesday. And then Thursday, I think we'll do a single faction tournament. We'll do it during the week. Do something a little bit different. So, should be good. It's a Slayer King, man. So now is the time for predictions. Is the title the wrong title? Hang on, let me see. No, it should say the correct thing. The Great Legendary Lords Tournament. All right, perfect. Yes, good. Yeah, certainly some very strong lords, but you have to remember too, like we tried our best to like balance it. So even if there's a bad lord matchup, it's a good faction matchup because dwarves have a decent matchup versus vampire counts, and they also have a very good one versus vampire coast. So really, the dwarf player here just has to defeat Manfred and Luther, and he can afford to lose to either what's his name, Eltharion, which is probably going to be a really hard one. Granted, it's still winnable, but high elves are very good against dwarves. But again, without using the really powerful high elf lords, it can be a different kind of equation. Your lord choice really can dictate the matchup in many circumstances. Yes. Oh, that's funny, Android Poetry. Yeah, totally missed that. I've been sleeping all wacky lately, so I'm still kind of waking up right now. Vlad will be, I think his pod is coming up soon. We've had 2 other groups finish in this tournament so far, so we have 17 pods to get through, 17 groups of 4. Legendary Lords. So there's going to be a lot of streams going on. I might even on some rare occasions do 2 in one day, where we have like a stream early in the day and a stream at night to allow folks in other time zones to actually watch. But yeah, it's going to be great. So thanks again for joining, guys. I think it's time we can go ahead and load into our first game, which is going to be Luther Harkon facing off against Manfred. So it is Inticity playing Luther Harkon. Very scary indeed. And then we have Black Phillip on the Vampire Count. Let us know your predictions, guys, before we start. Who do you think are going to be the 2 lords that advance? So out of the 4 in each group, 2 will be advancing, unless there's a 3-way tie, and then we have all 3 advance. But generally, there's going to be 2. So let us know here in chat. Who do you guys think shall advance? And we will go from there. So today we'll have 6 games. We'll play 6 in total, and then we'll be doing some free-for-alls and maybe some quick battles to close things out. I haven't seen any Throt games yet. I haven't looked at his replays, but certainly some serious business for sure. He is a very, very scary lord. So now we're going to be jumping on over here. Let's do it to it. And for the first match of the day, we have Inticity on Luther Harkon. His battle line is going to be zombie pirate deckhand mobs backed up by a couple handguns. So it looks like 2 in total with what appears to be depth guard polearms here. Very interesting choice. And yeah, this is so a lot of Vampire Coast players, when they do end up playing this matchup, they kind of like to box, right? Because not boxing against vampires can be really risky. They have like cheap Black Knights, Direwolves, Fellbats, a ton of mobility that can really punish you if you're spread out. But there is a bit of a kind of school of thought that the vampire counts are going to expect the box so badly that they overcompensate for it. And then you're able to kind of go wide like this once again. So we do have zombie pirate handgun mobs, 3 in total. We have depth guard halberds, 4 in total actually. And this is more the OG Inticity playstyle, right? So 4 of those. We have animated hulks. In the front, we got deckhand mobs and Fellbats to fight up in the sky, because if you are going to put Luther in the sky against vampires, you certainly want some help. He can usually outduel most of their lords, but for example, if you come in with Manfred plus Vargeists, that's going to be pretty ugly. So you're going to want some Fellbats to kind of help you out there for sure. And here we do have good gunnery white with Scab Scraith and a Vampire Caster, and that's it. So this is the army of the Dread Pirate King himself, Inticity, again, whose lord is Luther Harkon. And now for the forces here of the Warriors of Chaos, we do have Graveguard with great weapons, I think. No, it's just basic Graveguard, actually. So 4 of those, and you don't really need the great weapons here. I mean, occasionally you'll run into like some weird depth guard builds, but generally they can still do fine there with a little bit of support from your dragon and your characters and all that sort of good stuff. So should be fine. Zombies in the front, Graveguard in the secondary here for Black Phillip, Black Knights in the back, teamed up with Direwolves on the flanks, Fellbats, Vargeists, and then we do have Manfred von Karstein up on his glorious bald mount here. He's going to be riding the zombie dragon, and he's got the Sword of Unholy Power and some basic magic. Cool stuff, man. So the reason why people use Hulks, and I know I've make fun of Hulks quite a bit, and they are, I still think, a bad unit, but there are niche circumstances in which you're trying to get cheap mass in your back line to stop things like cavalry. They can be okay. I've used them against Bretonnia to relative decent effectiveness, I would say, but yeah, I'm still not a fan of them, but they can do the job, man. We'll see. So the Gunnery Wight on the ground on the Crab 2 is a very useful tool for sniping these flying vampire characters. And you can see here that the Gunnery Wight going to be shooting up at Mannfred right now, but it looks like there's going to be a dual-pronged charge here from Mannfred. Black Phillip getting very aggressive, and neither of these zombies do have halberds or anti-large or charge defense. So pretty good value for sure. As long as he pulls back and maybe only loses like 1 or 2 Black Knight models, I think he should be okay. It looks like one does get dragged down in the end because Anticity, of course, every time you come in, he is going to make you pay that sweet, sweet troll toll to get into the Vampire Coast's defensive hole here, I guess. And he does have all the handgun mobs, so he's going to be peppering you when you come in here and kind of pressure. So up in the sky, we do have a duel of duels. It looks like we do have Luther Harkin going fisticuffs with the Vargeist. A little bit risky considering Manfredo's nearby. Granted, he doesn't stand alone up in the skies, right? He does indeed have all the handgun fire, and Luther is very fast. I mean, as fast as these guys, more or less. But he can kite backwards with 90 speed, and the handgun mobs can cover him. Jared Barreto stuck at home with COVID. Glad to be able to catch up, keep it live. Hey, man, hope you're recovering well, and sorry to hear that you got the Rona. And we're here for you, man. We'll keep it going. Thank you so much, Jared, for the donation. So Depth Guard Halberds appear to be coming in to sweep out the zombies. So far, not too much pressure on Anticity's gun line. If we look around, all 4 guns are more or less functional, but this build with the Vampire Counts is very front-heavy. The Graveguard will eventually bust through that front line, and then you're going to have to deal with them one way or the other, and Graveguard are certainly no jokes as far as what can deal with them well. Depth Guard polearms can certainly fight them. They have good AP values and consistent combat stats. Depth Guard polearms have made a bit of a comeback with the freaking Chaos matchup and a couple things like that. So handguns still blasting up in the sky. These Vargeist are expensive and very much a glass cannon unit. The Vargeist going to be getting popped in the face here by the zombie pirate handgun mobs. Invocation going down to heal those bad boys up, but we will see if they're able to stabilize here after that serious firepower coming in. Luther Harkin probably shooting his pistol as well. Going into duel Mannfred. I think he's trying to bait the Vargeist back into fight. It's a little bit hard to tell. In the backside here, we do have Fellbats battling what appears to be some Direwolves. Direwolves should win that fight, although they're not going to get the charge, so it does change things up. Mannfred kind of running past Luther, going to be dropping some zombie summons on the handguns, which is always a good, cost-effective play. Granted, not if you're taking a ton of damage in the process, but so far, Mannfred should be an okay duelist here. Zombie dragons are pretty damn powerful, but the fact that Luther has poison actually gives a relatively substantial edge to him in the dueling situation. That plus his pistol. Scab's Wraith going down, and the gunnery mobs does some decent damage, and here we have the Double White Kings from Black Phillip piling in and actually going after the gunnery wight. Now, they're not going to kill it quick, but if they sit here for a while, they should be able to wear down the gunnery wight. So I would imagine that here, Anticity probably will pull back the gunnery wight, run back to his ranks, and Graveguard have gotten through on the flanks here. So Mannfred definitely needs to get his forces and rally them through onto the handgun mobs right here. I mean, this is all fresh fish. On top of that, you can see some Graveguard here kind of standing idle. So a couple small mistakes here by Black Phillip. Certainly not the most disastrous mistakes. He's getting good engagements in many areas, but he needs to move forward his battle lines, and now he is. So the Graveguard are moving in here. These ones on the other side should move in relatively soon. A pistol mob has been summoned by Anticity to help probably fend off those White Kings or pepper the front line. And man, those Vargeist are still going. The invocations really have been getting spent on those guys, and they're keeping Luther quite busy at the very least. Here in the backfield, we do have Fellbats and Halberds and all sorts of haggard stuff battling the Black Knights, and finally you can see the dreaded animated Hulks with their big power crab claws getting in there and dragging down many of these poor Black Knights. So those guys will be going to the grave once more. Round 2, baby. Up in the sky, we do have the Vargeist who are taunted, still battling Luther. Luther taking quite a bit of damage. Mannfred coming in the back. Mannfred's got 500 plus weapon strength. If he makes contact, certainly could hurt quite bad, but it looks like Anticity might try and actually finish off the Vargeist and then retreat. But pistol summons on the ground are one of the best ways to support Luther from the sky, and here you can see he has done that. Now he's pulling back. Fellbats being sent in is a bit of a sacrifice, and right now we have a very, very close game. Depth Guard polearms here, doing the work of the deep gods, the deep ones, or the old ones, whatever they worship, who knows. So far, they just got into combat, but they've piled in to fight the Graveguard. So they haven't done a ton of damage yet, but they will, of course, trade effectively with Graveguard, who do lack armor piercing to deal with their high armor values. And now it looks like Luther has landed on the ground. I think the reason he did this is because there was too much pressure going on. So by landing, he forces the Vampire Counts to land, at which point he can use his animated Hulks and other assets to provide a screen for the old boy Luther to try and get away here. So very, very close fight. Graveguard's still going strong. That's certainly the biggest concern here for, I was about to say the undead, but for the Vampire Counts. We got some handgun mobs going here, but a nice zombie summon from Black Phillip was able to shut those guys down. Both White Kings are also still functional, And Graveguard are pretty numerous. We have 68 right here. We have 78. Looks like the Depth Guard polearms are pulling back at this point. I don't think they want to... Yeah, they definitely want to get in combat here with some of the Graveguard and start wearing those guys down. Although bringing them in and getting that armor piercing to help finish off the White Kings also could be a very prudent play. And so far, Anticity, it looks like he hasn't been shooting this whole game. I think he shot a couple shots in the beginning with Luther, but he took off fire at will. If you look at Luther, he still has like full ammo, which is actually really scary. There's kind of a school of thought that saving it could be strong. Ooh, big breath attack coming in from Mannfred, but it looks like it kind of whiffs. I think he went for the animated Hulks instead of the Depth Guard. And now Mannfred's going to be piling in, trying to help out his White Kings here. You can also see the Vampire Fleet Captain for the Vampire Coast did take quite a bit of damage in dueling those double White Kings right there. And the Varghese making their valiant last stand up in the sky and going fisticuffs with Luther Harkin, but he gets more powder and also gets Invocation. I would imagine he's going to start shooting his pistol now. We have Graveguard, we have 61 here, 76 right here, 88, like literally none of the Graveguard have been touched. That's actually a pretty substantial issue for the Vampire Coast. But, you know, the Depth Guard polearm could be the X-Factor pick. We'll have to keep an eye on it. And, you know, if Luther is able to kill Mannfred, he could potentially carry, considering he has so much ammo. Like, he could just cycle charge it up in the sky. And looks like the White King is getting taken out. It's getting crab slapped and also being feasted on by the Terror Geese, or Goose here. That White King's going to be going down, negative 36. Its HP certainly not at a point of recovering. The other White Kings is also going to be dying, it looks like. Yeah, that's a little bit problematic here. This White King in big trouble on foot. And Luther Harkin is a very good character assassin, blasting his pistol and also going after the White King, who now has what appears to be 13 HP. So not great for him. Depth Guard polearms moving in. Ooh, but a big breath attack on the back of the zombies there. Yeah, definitely should go after the Graveguard or the Depth Guard polearms. I think a little bit of a mistake there targeting the zombie pirate polearm mobs. Pretty cool build by Anticity. It's really neat to see someone not box against vampires, because pretty much every one of their dog and third cousin likes to box against vampire counts. So it's really neat to see a bit of a different playstyle, right? So now the Graveguard are moving in. Now Luther Harkin finally is the one on the hunt here, and I would assume he's now shooting his pistol. He is. You can see the ammunition dropping. And Taunt is active, and Mannfred is on the run. He is certainly in some serious trouble here, trying to get away. Negative 24 speed, negative 30 armor on this bad boy. Nice charge, though, by Mannfred. He gets in there and is able to potentially kill the Vampire Fleet Captain. Negative 25 leadership. Probably will crumble, but ooh, a beautiful breath attack from Anticity and Luther Harkin going down on Mannfred. But man, oh man, there's a lot of Graveguard left. And the animated Hulks are getting crumped down. Depth Guard polearms are also getting crumped pretty good-like. 112 kills, though. It would appear they've done pretty well for themselves. And the Vampire Fleet Captain is also going in the can. But I think with the Gunnery White and with Luther Harkin being so healthy, and although he's at his healing cap, that's going to be a problem. And a final strike by Mannfred, a good play. If he can get in there and do some damage to Luther Harkin before he goes quietly, you'll notice the bounce of power is kind of ebbing back here to the middle a little bit. Mannfred is at negative 18. Does he get another attack? It looks like the poison is really debilitating on him. Granted, he's not poisoned right now, but it has been this entire game. And now it's like a million Graveguard versus just two characters, right? So you have Graveguard. If these were Graveguard great weapons, they could certainly kill the Gunnery White pretty quick. Granted, I still think the shielded variant is probably better against Coast in general. Because you saw, like, the Depth Guard polearm still took some damage for sure. But yeah, this is very much going to be a grind fest, so I will go ahead and fast forward this since, of course, it is replays. And we can see the Graveguard piling in, doing their thing, man. Mannfred's just laying there all bald and angry on the ground, and the Gunnery White kind of getting grinded down a little bit, honestly. Although now a lot of the Graveguard are starting to crumble. That's free HP damage on a very expensive unit, and yeah, I think that the two monsters here should be able to carry the day. GG, well played. The Pirate King claims first blood here in today's Group I Legendary Lord Tournament. If we take a look here at the big winners, I'm really curious about those polearms. Let's see. 1,000 value, you know, not too good. You know, basic Depth Guard, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah, it's like I want them to be good, but every time I use them, they don't really pay for themselves. But it still gives you something to fall back on, I suppose. Handguns were you know, obviously fine. Some of them got compromised, some didn't. The dreaded... Oh, look at this! The animated Hulks! The dreaded Hulks. Oh, 1,000 gold value. Making me eat my words. You hear the Gunnery White, huge MVP. 2,400. Luther Harkin, 3,800 on that bad boy. Holy shit, man. That is pretty serious. And Mannfred, 2,000, not bad. Didn't quite pay for himself. He's on that big dragon. Very expensive. And the White Kings did okay. Yeah, honestly, it was fine. Varghese got up to 1,000 value, but they obviously ate a ton of the invocations, which means there wasn't really probably invos for the White Kings in the late game. So that is the first game here in this group stage. So currently, Anticity is 1-0, and Mannfred is 0-1. So we'll keep track of that as we go through the event. I'll make sure to update you guys on the current scores. And now let's go to the graphic and get ready for the next match. Animated Hulks, man, I know. Talking shit. I believe Raptor is playing in this tournament, yeah. I think he's playing, I'm not sure. Falcon helped me recruit people for it, so I can't recall off the top of my head. All right, so we saw this battle, which was the Vampire Coast versus Vampire Counts. We'll delete that replay so I don't accidentally open it again. Man, I have so many replays to go through, guys. It's serious business. This weekend, Lady Turn and I went up to one of our friends' places. He's been obviously self-isolating, and so have we. So we were all safe and good, and we played Arkham. What is it called? Arkham Horror, the board game, or is it Arkham Horror? Yeah, I think it is. It's a Lovecraft board game. It was actually quite a bit of fun. So each of you picks like a character, and you're trying to like close these gates and portals. It was great. Nymus, I'm not sure if he is. I don't think so. He didn't message me. Generally, I just put out, like, I just told people on stream I was doing this, and then if they messaged me and had some tournament credentials, I invited them. I don't think he contacted me for this. Yeah. Yes, we got Sice in chat. The man, the myth, the Ungram. Hold on, my phone's going crazy. Oh, who dares call me? It's probably one of my biggest pet peeves, honestly, is getting phone calls. One sec, guys. I actually might need to take this one real quick. Be right back. Ah, yes, the dreaded spam call. Indeed. So Vampire Coast has drawn first blood here in today's event. Next, we're going to be loading into probably one of their hardest matchups, which is going to be Anticity's Vampire Coast against Carrot Kadrin. So Sice Phenom. It says Phenom. And he is going to be leading the forces of the Slayer King to fight against the Vampire Coast. Now, this is a matchup. I have played this one a couple times recently. I think I played it in a tournament against Grom Brindle, where I actually played Vampire Coast into his dwarves. And, I often lose that matchup, but this time I was able to get it using a Cyrene Death Gunner build with Depth Guard, and it worked pretty well. So I'm really curious to see Anticity's approach. Anyone in chat still answer phone calls? Oh, man. Yeah, it's going to be good. Italian Spartacus just spam calling me. Yeah, that'd be really funny. All right, guys, let's load in. It's going to be the dreaded Vampire Coast, once again, led by Anticity here. So, very interesting build. Check this out. He went with doubles, I think double or quad Cyrene? Yeah. Is that a Cyrene? So, 4 Cyrenes, 2 Depth Guard, Foot Luther Harkin, which I love against dwarves, Vampire Fleet Captain, a Gunnery White in the back, a Rotting Leviathan, Queen Bessie, and yeah, some Fellbats. This is a very strange build. Like, very, very strange build. I mean, if Queen Bessie gets killed by cannons, like, that's pretty much his win condition here. Aside from that, I mean, yeah, Depth Guard and Cyrenes can do well, but they're more for, like, holding while other things kill. So the build I used recently in a tournament, it'll be interesting to see the parallel, but I used 4 Death Gunners, and pretty much this identical build, like, without the crab. But yeah, very, very cool stuff here by Anticity, for sure. Very neat indeed. And now, my friends, we load on over to the forces of the Slayer King. So let us know in chat, are you rooting for the Pirate King or the Slayer King? It's got Dwarf Warriors, Miners without blasting charges. A couple Slayers in the back. Honestly, Slayers and ranged tools generally do the trick here, but man, oh man, he went heavy on artillery. He's got an organ gun. He's got cannons. I think 2 cannons, double organ gun, Iron Drake flamethrowers, and some Thunders in the back as well. A pretty badass army for sure, so very excited for this. So if Anticity wins this match, he more or less is guaranteed to advance. If you win 2 in these pods of 4, you're pretty much guaranteed to advance. So certainly, I'm sure he's quite eager to win this one. Queen Bessie dropping some hot loads here onto the Miners, certainly doing some damage, taking him down to about half health, and yeah, 53 of 75 on the model count there. Not too many good targets. I guess shooting the Thunder is probably your best bet. But the Iron Drake's also going to do some big damage against the Vampiric units. Not that Cyrenes are weak to fire or anything, but it still should hurt them quite bad, even with their resist. I think that's going to be quite punishing. Yeah, no, Swaggles for sure. I'm pretty excited for that new Witch Hunter model. I'm definitely, because I'm putting together my Empire army right now. I switched my paint scheme, so I'm going with Knights of the Cults of Moor. So they have black armor with purple cloth and gold highlights. And then their bases are like graveyard. So the bases for my Empire army are all graveyards because they're supposed to be like a Crusading Cults of Moor army in the Vampire Counts lands and things like that. So I currently finished 2 Demogryph Knights and my Battle Wizard, and I'm going to be working on some state troops probably tonight. So very excited for that character. So the dwarves are advancing up. They don't really have to, but getting the cannons to shoot at Queen Bess. Oh my god, Queen Bess is already dead. Oh god, that's why you don't bring Queen Bess against dwarves. the cannon's able to punish. Granted, if they hadn't brought artillery, Queen Bess would have been very disgusting and could have actually won Anticity the game. So I suppose it was a bit of a gamble, because not all dwarves bring artillery in this matchup. Sometimes they just rush. So now the big crab is trying to get through, but the Dragonback Slayers are pinning that bad boy down. Organ Gun shooting at the Depth Guard over here on the far side. And you can see these Thunders. Oh, and the Iron Drakes are about to start roasting, which will probably hit the Dragonback Slayers a little bit. But yeah, they do imbue fire weakness, if I'm not mistaken. So the Rotting Leviathan just getting cooked. Oh man, it's being steamroiled here by the Iron Drakes. And that crab is in some serious trouble. Now, Sirens and Vampire Fleet Captain have gotten into the battle lines. I would imagine that there is going to be some zombie summons on top of the artillery. And now the other Sirens are pushing in, but getting bathed in flame. And the Slayer King moving in. And despite their ethereal status, taking a substantial amount of damage. And Slayers, oh, you know, fighting Sirens isn't the prettiest thing in the world. They'll probably do fine, you know, especially since they're unbreakable. And the big crab in the back is almost dead, which is really, really rough there for Anticity, because he's already lost Queen Bess, and losing your big power crab that costs, you know, around 2,000 gold, give or take, can't quite remember, is going to be pretty punishing for sure. Foot Luther's diving in there. The Vampire Coast now swarming from a couple angles. This is where things could get scary for the dwarves. He did invest a lot in ranged tools, which has paid off so far, but now he's going to have to kind of, you know, pay the other side of the coin here, as the Depth Guard and other units do get permeated into his back line. Depth Guard versus Slayers is super cost effective. This is a very good engagement here for Anticity, as the Depth Guard do karate chop through all of these various units here. And you can see the Dragonback Slayers really losing this fight massively to the Depth Guard. Sirens on the other side fighting Slayers. It's a bit of a wash though. Blasting charges coming in here from the Norgrimling's Iron Breakers. Going to be saturating into the back of those Sirens. And currently Balance of Power is a little bit dwarf favored. But the Sirens, like I said, have gotten into many of the gunline positions, and he was able to stabilize the Crabbo, which is quite valuable indeed. And the Organ Gun actually, I think, is still online. Yeah, that's rough. But look at the freaking flamethrowers, man. Those are doing so much work. Here comes the Depth Guard moving in. It looks like they are going to be able to shut down the Organ Gun, which is a pretty huge grab for sure. Although now they're bouncing over to go after the Slayers. I think Anticity probably feels that it's not worth finishing the Organ Gun to just get chain roasted there by those Iron Drakes. Foot Luther, you know, doing his thing. It looks like he's battling the Slayer King, which is certainly a losing engagement for him. He can't kite him, and now it looks like Luther is going to be turning and running, as the Slayer King does miss that last attack. And oh my god, I love how he like charges with the Cutlass. That's so funny. Rotting Leviathan's got to be careful too. Doesn't want to be getting too close to the Slayer King, who's now going to be piling in. Organ Gun's back online, blasting these Depth Guard here. Norgrimling's Ironbreakers are out of blasting charges, but they seem to be in relatively good shape as well. And the Slayer King, man, he's living up to his name here as he slays this giant Rotting Leviathan, now going after some of the Depth Guard here with his amazing AP values. And Captain Jack Sparrow here, Luther Harkin, trying to run away, but unfortunately he's caught in a bit of a tricky situation. Oh, but extra powder going down. Very, very cool tactics. And the Sirens are being Battle of the Bastarded here as they're fully surrounded Game of Thrones style, and there's not going to be anything coming to rescue these ladies, as they're probably going to be crumbling relatively soon. Oh, look at that, and the Vampire Lord got... How did they get stuck in there with the dwarfs around? Oh, man. Oh, and the Queen Bess crew is coming also. This battle's getting real heated. Here in the back, Felbat's going after the Organ Gun. Very, very good play there by Anticity. Certainly a way to potentially get back in the game. Balance of Power is actually ebbing back to the middle. Will the Dread Pirate Anticity pull this game back? It's hard to say. He's done an amazing job keeping this Leviathan back online, and now the Queen Bess crew is here to stay, and they're not messing around, man. Dwarf Army is relatively beat up as well, but they still do have those Iron Breakers, which are just going to be an unholy pain in the ass to kill. And Ungrim is also going to be a problem, although right now he gets surrounded by Sirens, which is actually a good play here for Anticity. He's going to be charmed, lowering his melee attack to 56 with the Sirens debuff, and now Luther can just kind of cackle and kite. He should be able to run. 40 speed against 32. He's quite a bit faster. But yeah, man. Luther's taking a lot of damage, and if Anticity's cast, or maybe has some invocations, could get like an overcast on the Crab as well as Luther, I think that could be a relatively strong way here. We will see. But the battle does indeed rage on. Felbat's in the back, shutting down the Thunders. Iron Drakes with the Flamethrowers. Very nice usage of these this game. I think Seiss has been doing an outstanding job. And now he's going to be roasting these Felbats incredibly well. Let's take a look at the damage value on these guys. This is going to be pretty cool, man. Iron Drakes are such a badass unit. 1,300 value, man. That's really, really good. And there's more to come. I would imagine they're still going to be effective at cleaning up some of the very spooky units here in the battlefield, the Sirens. The big Crabbo coming to free the Sirens from their Battle of the Bastards, so I suppose I was wrong about that. There is going to be something coming to save them. And Anticity, with some very slick play, is able to save that Vampire Fleet Captain. Very, very cool stuff. In the meantime, the Slayer King and his Dragonback Slayers are hunting down the Gunnery Wight. Man, look how giant Ungrim is. I mean, I know heroic characters are always, like, huge, but he's literally as tall as a human here, basically, and it's massive. But Legendary Lords are always bigger. Anyways, we do have a duel here. A very risky play here for Luther Harkin getting into combat. If the Slayer King does decide to jump in, I mean, Ungrim could probably defeat both the Gunnery Wight and Luther here in combat. I think Luther had the right idea of like running and shooting, but yeah, the rest of the Vampire army's in shambles. Syrenes are going down. The Vampire Fleet Captain is here. We have a couple Syrenes over there. Probably the last bastion of strength. Maybe if they got a really lucky RNG and were able to slay Ungrim, that could get the Vampire Coast back in this game. But the Dwarves are looking mighty powerful right now as the Iron Drakes move forward and continue to just bathe these foul monsters in fire. And now they're going to be turning once again, unleashing their fiery salvos. One of them obstructed by the organ gun. Oh my god, just getting blocked by those organ guns right there. So unfortunate. So now the Syrene's going to pile in, maybe actually finish those guys off. But I think the Dwarves just have too much. There's a full health unit of Ironbreakers here. The Slayer King himself is mighty pissed off. And Luther Harkin, he's on death's bed. He's now being shot by what appears to be a cannon. And the mighty Dowie will claim victory. GG, well played. That is a tall dwarf right there. I know, he's serious. He's a foot shorter. He's all Mohawk. Okay, fair play. So yeah, this is like one style of or school of thought for trying to defeat dwarves is using a Queen Bess, because the very meta dwarf build against Coast does not actually use it doesn't use artillery. It often rushes you with like 4 Slayers, like a bunch of Quarrelers and Rangers, and then Dwarf Warriors. So this Queen Bessie is like a gamble against that, right? You roll the dice, and if they do that build, you can certainly put up a good fight because you can defend the rush with these like elite units. But if they come with any artillery, you pretty much lose. And for the I prefer deck gunners. I feel like they're a little bit safer because they're not going to get shut down by a single cannon. But nonetheless, it was a good fight, and Seiss did an amazing job with his Iron Drakes. It was so cool, man. Yeah, it was solid, man. Slayer King was a beast too. Didn't get like a ton of value, but they still did their piece. And there you have it. So Anticity is currently 1-1 in our pod. His last matchup is going to be facing off against the High Elves. So if he beats the High Elves, it's Luther Harkin against Eltharion. So the High Elves are certainly... Normally it's like a... I don't know, that matchup is kind of interesting. I would say it's relatively even, High Elves versus Coast, but since he has to bring Eltharion, it's certainly a little tricky. Granted, Eltharion does do well against Flying Luther because he has Tempest, so there's some give and take there, but it should be an even matchup. And yeah, the Dwarves, of course, have claimed First Blood here, so they are 1-0 in today's pod group, and we will move on to the next match and do it to it. There's nothing like too crazy on the value. I mean, Organ Gun got 1,100, Cannons got like 800 apiece. The Iron Drakes probably did the best in tandem with the Norgrimling's Ironbreakers, and the Slayers, yeah, 1,200 on these Slayers. Not bad. Deck Hunters get obliterated by Dwarf Range. So the thing is, I can actually show you a replay. It'll be going up on the channel soon, where I used 3 Deck Gunners against probably one of the best Dwarf players in the community and was able to make them work with Vampire Coast. The build was very similar to this, except I didn't have the Crab and Bess, and I just had Deck Gunners instead, and some Zombies as well. But the Deck Gunners have more range than the Dwarven guns, so you're blasting them while attacking them with Scurvy Dogs as well. It's still not easy. It's still Dwarf favored. They're more than likely going to win unless the stars align and you play like perfectly, but it's doable. It's doable. Beard stroking intensifies. Stroke them beards. I don't have one, but well, I got some stubble. I guess I could stroke that. It kind of counts. All right, so let's load into the next match in today's group stage tournament. Thank you all for joining. It's been an absolute blast so far. So we've had, let me make sure. So Ungrim versus Manfred. There it is. So we had Ungrim versus Luther. So next up, let's see which one we want to watch. Let's get a High Elf game. We haven't given the High Elves much love yet. So we can do... Let's do the High Elves versus Manfred. So we'll do Eltharion versus Manfred. That sounds like fun. All right, so Poison Ducky is our champion for the High Elves, facing off against Black Phillip, who you saw playing Manfred earlier against Anticity. So this is a win or die here for the Vampire Counts. If they lose this, they're pretty much eliminated from advancing, but he still does have the opportunity to play his third game and potentially ruin the advancement opportunities for one of his friends. So we'll see how that goes. We will see. I'd like to see the replay, one of the hardest matchups. Yeah, I'll show you. As a matter of fact, I can show you guys after we finish here. Yeah, no problem. So just remind me, after we get through all the group stages before the FFA, let me know, and I'll pull that replay up and we can cast it here on stream, which will be fun. Karl Franz is playing in a different group, and I don't know his current standing. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you because it would spoil it for you. Come on now. It's coming. Don't worry. I'm going to be banging these bad boys out. I might even reach out to some other content creators to see if they want to cast some of the group stages and things like that. So, because there's a ton of them, and they're really good replays. So, yeah, here we are. Let's load back in. Thank you, Captain. So we have 2 donations coming in before we start this. One from Captain Gimbal Lock. Started following these tournaments last year and loved the content. Cheers and go Coast. Hey, thank you, man. And yeah, regardless, like each faction has several lords. The one tournament or faction in this tournament that is really poorly represented is Norsca, because they only have 2 legendary lords. So like some factions get like 6 chances and Norsca only gets 2, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. Captain, thank you so much for the donation, man. Hope you're doing well. And we have one from Tangado Haid. He says, thanks for all the hours of recreation in this hard time. You are very welcome, man. And thank you so much. Can you show all the brackets so we make the bets? The problem is if I show you the bracket website, it has spoilers already because they're reporting their scores. Yeah. Magic D, thank you for the 200 MX. I have no idea what currency that is, but really do appreciate that. Hats off for the crazy amount of content you put out. More to come. We're going to be streaming every single day this week. We are going balls deep. King of the Dead is Norsca, so you guys have a very powerful champion. You do, yeah. So those of you guys who are Norscan fans, there you go. Magic D, Captain, Tangado, thank you so much for your donations. Really appreciate it, guys. And now, guys, if we take a look here at the High Elves, they're facing the Vampire Counts. Now, this is a matchup that is very, very High Elf favored. However, he's not able to use Larry or some of the Teclis type characters. He is forced to use Eltharion, so that does actually kind of equalize the matchup a little bit. I'd still think it's slightly High Elf favored, but not to say that Mannfred can't win it. So every day this week, yeah. We might take a break on the weekend, like on Sunday, but aside from that, we should be streaming. Magic T, thank you so much. Mexican Peso, got it. Gracias, my friend. So, for the High Elves here, we got double Swordmaster, double Sister. Very elite army. I love it. We also have a couple Spearmen on the flanks backed up by Reavers, and Lothern Seaguard backing up the back line, which are kind of like Walmart Spearmen, so they can hold their own. And Eltharion the Grim Warden is here with Tempest, Hand of Glory, and the Fang Sword of Eltharion. Pretty badass for sure. And now for the Vampire Counts, Zombies and Graveguard with great weapons, a very smart choice, either against Silvern Guard or White Lions or Swordmasters. Having the great weapons is a good choice. And it's going to be triple Blood Knight. Oh man, that's some serious stopping power in the cavalry department. I love it. And we have double White Kings with Scab Scraith as well as Mannfred on horseback. So let's get this battle underway, guys, and have some fun. I know, no rule breaks. King of the Dead just spoiling the outcome of his group. Oh, it's fine. His group will be one of the later ones. I don't think it's done yet, so. All right, look at that. Hand of Glory going down, giving the reload skill to the Sisters of Avalorn. A very cool unit. I'm always pleased to see them being used. I think they're incredibly badass. And now they're ripping shots here into the Graveguard with great weapons. Talk about Value City. And there they go, man. Shooting into the Graveguard great weapons down to 88 models. So they haven't lost too many yet, but now the damage is really going to start adding up here. Blood Knights are going to be pretty scary for sure. Oh, but the Scab Scraith, he kind of missed it, unfortunately. It looks like it was going down the pipe of the Sisters of Avalorn here, but they were able to unintentionally avoid that. Now we do have the Silvern Guard. They're going to be forming ranks and shooting into the Blood Knights, and they are Spearmen, like I said, so they can take that charge well. For the Vampire Counts, they're going to have to get a ton of value from these Blood Knights, which is going to be really tricky, considering that the High Elves here went with very much a Porcupine-type build with a ton of spears everywhere. And here's the first charge. We need to get some zombie summons, too, on top of the Sisters of Avalorn, for sure. But the Blood Knights hammering in, being intercepted by Reavers and by Lothern Seaguard, and Eltharion the Grim himself is going to be getting his hands dirty and landing in there. However, that's a very scary Vampire Count blob. I think a little bit too much blobbed right there. The Vampires have some big openings right here. I think a couple Blood Knights probably need to move up and around. And look at the Swordmasters already cutting through these units. The zombies and even the Graveguard probably will be taking some huge damage. So a big overcasted invo going down for the Blood Knights, and they're pulling back, but not before they actually do some good damage. The Blood Knights, of course, did great damage against the Reavers and also took the Lothern Seaguard down to about half health. Now the White Kings are in combat there, and they should be able to cause some serious disruption. Graveguard moving in on the far side against the Spearmen. Should have a winning fight here. And now the Blood Knights once again. The Red Keep rides as they charge into the back of this High Elf formation. Potentially getting into the Sisters here, which would be exactly what he needs to win this game. So Blood Knights piling in. This is a good fight here. He's got the Sisters pinned down. He's fighting against Reavers. There's not too many Spearmen here. And Mannfred, I'm not sure where Mannfred is. He's being balled somewhere. And here he is. Okay, he's coming back in. Some zombie summons here would be very, very strong for sure. But it looks like Poison Ducky is able to pull back the Sisters of Avalorn. Both of them more or less escape at full health. We have 55 models here. We have 56. Oh, look at that. Gaze of Nagash being used by Mannfred. Very lore-friendly for sure. Now he's going to be going after Eltharion, which is a bold strategy. Eltharion is actually a pretty decent duelist against such characters. Obviously, Mannfred doesn't have the huge AP on horseback there, and Eltharion is rocking 100 armor. So look at this. More or less, the formations have exchanged positions. The High Elves have pulled back these Sisters here. Now, what would be really strong is if the Vampire Counts... Ooh, nice Scab Scraith. That's what I'm talking about. That's a beaut right there. That's going to do a ton of HP damage, but he needs to grab like a zombie or in the Graveguard here and ignore these Spearmen and move on top of these Sisters. That would be a very, very strong play, so let's go ahead and kind of keep watch and see if he does that. Well, the Blood Knight Goon Squad is doing well. It's rolling around. It's getting value. It's getting huge AoE healing from the Invocations. But the Swordmasters and the Sisters, the elite units, are all holding on pretty well. And Eltharion the Grim Warden getting down, going fisticuffs, tearing apart this White King, doing huge damage, punting one of his poor soldiers in the process, which is always hilarious. I love that friendly fire stuff. And it looks like the Blood Knights are going to be coming in trying to save that character, although I don't know if that's going to work out too well. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out. A zombie summon going down. Nice one there from Black Phillip on top of the Sisters of Avalorn, who are going to be getting a little bit of a heal there. Yeah, you can see 480 HP, but nonetheless, the zombie should shut them down for a period of time. Now the Blood Knights are pulling back here. They're going to be getting ready to party. Bouncing around, cycle charging in once again. Cycle charging through your own units does work, but it doesn't necessarily get you the same impact as charging into like the bare hide of a unit. But the bounce power, yeah, it's pretty even at this point, honestly. Graveguard Great Weapons are getting some damage, but the Swordmaster is holding pretty firm. Yeah, and both Sisters still shooting is really rough. Like, these Blood Knights are constantly being saturated with just armor-piercing, righteous fire here from the forces of Eltharion, who is playing Yvresse, and that's one of the cool things about this tournament is you get to play with the sub-factions if it's your respective lord, right? And you you can whip those banners out. Eltharion the Grim Apotheosis is active. It looks like Poison Ducky is going for the kill here on the White King once again. He has killed, I believe, one of the White Kings. And now the Blood Knights are charging in, but once again they run into a screen of spears, which is so brutal. And the Reavers probably could turn around and provide a little bit of buffering, but man, oh man, I'm sure he really, really wants those Sisters. They've just been blasting all game, and Lothar and Seaguard are now coming back across the map. And you can see with that, the bounce of power does start to ebb into the favor here of Eltharion the Grim Warden. Pulls back up in the sky, going to be locking his very grim gaze here on Manfred von Karsline as the Blood Knight Hammer continues to ride around, but is constantly intercepted and bogged down by something. Very, very nasty stuff for sure. Yes, he is indeed using all three Blood Knights as one unit. One big blob getting healed by Invocations. Sisters of Avalorn pulling back. Once again, going to be turning and ripping shots here into the back of the Blood Knights. They're starting to get very, very worn down. And without the Blood Knights, Eltharion is really going to have a field day. He can most certainly handle Manfred. And yeah, there's still so many Swordmasters. Like, Swordmasters could even provide nice AP. Ooh, good Scab's Great, though. That was nice. Went down both of the sister units right there. Yeah, the Blood Knights are certainly on death's bed. Although Bounce of Power kind of keeps a little bit tight here, as some of the Graveguard and zombies here are able to break the Swordmaster formation on the far side. And now they're piling into archers. Maybe if Manfred could get some fat summons. Ooh, but Manfred with a big blow right there on Eltharion. It doesn't quite pull the bounce power back, but oh no, some Blood Knights are coming back. This could actually be a situation in which Eltharion could throw the game. Oh no. Oh, the Blood Knights have gotten the surround potentially. Are they going to be able to pin him in? He's trying to push out. They need this right here. This is like the biggest thing of the game here for the Vampires. They have to kill Eltharion or else their chances of winning are, I would say, more or less, yeah, not great. Eltharion the Grim, 480. Apotheosis going down. Probably Eltharion's best bet is to move back towards his spears, and now you can see, but Manfred is getting some pretty good attacks. Manfred is not a slouch in combat. He's got 70 melee attack and 480 weapon strength. Oh no. And Eltharion the Grim is broken. The Grim Warden is running for the hills as the Blood Knights finally get the damage in. Look at that. He's broken. Now, as far as what the rest of the army has, Vampires, the concern for them, I suppose, is that the Sisters are still pretty healthy. And there's still a ton of infantry here, so even in killing Eltharion, it's still going to be an uphill fight, but more winnable for sure. As Eltharion the Grim is pushed back right here, and you can see this bad boy is going to be running for the hills. Negative 18. Blood Knights are hot on his tail. Manfred should be able to break him, if not kill him here, and the Grim Warden does fall. But, of course, in this tournament, he's simply wounded. He'll be back for the next fight as Manfred, the baldest of Vampire Lords, is able to claim a trophy right there. So Manfred pulling back, but the High Elves still have so much shit, man. They got Spears, they have Sisters. Both units, I think, are still online. Several units of the Sisters of Avalorn, so it's still not going to be an easy fight, but the Grim Warden has fallen this day. But I'm sure he'll be back, potentially, in his next matchup. And the Swordmasters, of course, will make incredibly quick work of this White King, although he is on horseback, so I suppose it won't be as quick as before. And now they're piling in. Some heavy damage should be the next step here. And Manfred, does he have zombie summons? That's really going to be potentially his saving grace, and it looks like he does. There's going to be a zombie summon going down on top of the archers right here, the Sisters. Now he's going to be moving in. This White King at about 1400 HP. 55 models here on the Swordmasters of Hoth, and those Sisters able to rip some nice shots. So what the High Elves could probably do at this point is just like fan out their archers and get ready for some like concave fire, because yeah, I think even despite the Grim Warden going down here, I think that the Vampires aren't going to have enough. Like, Manfred isn't like a crowd clearing beast. Unless he has like a weird ass like Winds of Death in his back pocket and the High Elves completely don't notice it. Although he is rocking a Purple Sun, so Manfred did bring Purple Sun. Saving up for that could be pretty big, like a big Purple Sun right here that rotated the right direction. Could potentially do it, but I think it might be too little too late as the White King is getting focused down by the Sisters, and down he goes, dragged down by the elite of the High Elves, and now Manfred is going to be taking his place and jumping into the blob here, and I don't think that's going to be enough. We'll do a little bit of fast forwarding. Manfred does have some zombie summons, which is good. That will certainly allow him to do a little bit more damage, but so many archers, so many elite units. Manfred just is not up to the task here. And with that, the vampire counts are going to be going 0-2 in the pod, which means that they are guaranteed not to advance. However, they still have a third game and could affect the outcome of somebody else's advancement. Eltharion, of course, getting his victory there is, quite happy about that, I'm sure. Despite Eltharion going down there at the end, he did a good job. 2,100 value on the Grim Warden. Swordmasters got 1,000, 1,300. Archers all did, great. Sisters were the MVPs. Look at that. 2,800 value on those sisters. Hot damn, dude. Beautiful micro there by Poison Ducky. Getting those sisters like constantly through the spears and into safe areas where they could keep ripping shots. It was really nice. Honestly, Philip's army was fine, more or less. I think the Blood Knights needed to be split up. Having them in one big hammer is nice for invocations, but there were so many angles he could have threatened, and he had such dominance in the Cav game. Like, if he had used like them in three different, three-pronged attacks, he could have done so much more damage across the board. I think that's what cost him the game, honestly. 1,200, 1,000 here, 1,100 here. It was still a good game. He put up a good fight. It's a hard matchup versus High Elves for Vampires, and he still scrapped it out. So big props to Black Phillip here. And we are going to be moving on to the next match. So let's do it to it. GG indeed. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Manfred he's more or less knocked out. Yes. He lost 2. All right, so that is Eltharion versus... Try not to delete the wrong replays here. All right, Manfred versus Eltharion. There it is. So we got 3 more replays in today's stream. And then, of course, we'll do some FFAs to close things out. We have the High Elves versus Dwarves. We have Ungrim versus Manfred. And then we have Luther Harkin versus Eltharion. That's it's going to be a good one for sure. I'm quite excited. Turn, any news on the Skaven faction? No, that's going to be a ways off because I'm running a bunch of events right now. I'm doing the ECL, which is going to be on this Saturday, and then we have the Legendary Lords tournament. I'm running single faction tournaments, and then on top of that, in February, I'm going to be helping out with the World Championship. So there's so much stuff. Did I miss a donation? Let me check. All right. I don't think I missed anything. I saw a donation from Magic D, from Captain, which I did see earlier, from Tengato Hade, and then from Jared. Yeah, I saw them all, brother. Wooder Von. Let me know if I missed anything. But I did see all those. Yeah, we talked about them earlier. This King of the Dead just trolling in chat. Our team league is going to be going up tomorrow as well. We'll probably do a stream for that, which I'm really excited about. It's so much fun. So like I said, the Team Hag Guard, which is yeah, you guys will get to see King of the Dead's 2v2s. Him and I did some 2s together. Yeah, it was really fun. Blood Knights are actually surprisingly decent against infantry too. They just have really high charge bonus and decent weapon strength. So even if you can charge infantry, they can wreck infantry. That's why Blood Knights are so good. Such a powerful unit. Lion Chariots are really good against dwarves. Yeah, that's a pain in the butt. They have missile resist and they just eat dwarven units. They eat them nice and good like. All right, so next up we will do the dwarves versus Yvresse. Pretty good. All right, let's load in. It's going to be Sice Phenom facing off against Poison Ducky. We have Carrot Kadrin against High Elves. Now, this is one that is very bad for the dwarves. A super favored matchup for the High Elves here. But Eltharion, of course, isn't the optimal choice. But, we'll see how it all plays out. We will see. Do Blood Knights have undead horses? Probably. I would imagine so. No, I saw the Magic D donation. Yeah, I did. Thank you, man. Appreciate that one. Are players allowed to bring sub-faction units? Yeah, I suppose so. If they just tell their opponent beforehand, yeah. It's a pretty casual tournament, but it's going to end with a big faction war style event, which should be quite a bit of fun. So now let's load in. We have the dwarves, Ungrim Iron Fist facing off against the High Elves. Now, a very, very unorthodox build here for the High Elves. Now, normal, the very meta build in this matchup for High Elves against dwarves is max White Lions, max Swordmasters, Lion Chariots, and Larry healing them, right? But in this case, he went with a very different build. Check this shit out. So he went with White Lions. It looks like there's going to be 5 in total with a couple Rangers on the flanks just to get some extra troops. And quad Bolt Thrower against Dawi. Very interesting. On top of that, we have 2 Narnia Lions. So we have the Lion Chariots of Krace, and it's going to be Foot Tharion the Grim. No, Horse Tharion the Grim. What the hell? I actually can't remember the last time I've seen Eltharion on horseback. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen Eltharion on horseback. Well, that should be interesting. And now for the forces of the Dawi, who are going to be led by Seiss Phenom. He does have Ungrim, Iron Fist, Gotrek, and Felix. His battle line is going to be Dwarf Warriors with some blasting charges, 2 Slayers in the back, a single Organ Gun, which is going to get wrecked super hard by the Bolt Throwers, unfortunately for him, and Thunders as well. Granted, it is a small map, so he should be able to advance and pressure the High Elf army before he, loses too much here. But a lot of his investment is, of course, in Felix and Gotrek, so it's doing its thing. Also, guys in chat, Lady Turn made an awesome Vampire Coast themed art. Make sure to check that out. She just put it up, and yeah, check out that link. It is amazing. In between games, we'll go take a look at that. Show you guys. I almost don't want her to sell it. I just want to keep it for myself. Yeah, a lot of Narnia units and Horse Tharion the Grim. It's a very, very strange. Now the Bolt Throwers are obviously unleashing some damage, shooting into the Organ Gun, which should be in range by now. Not sure why it's not shooting. Yeah, it should be in range to start shooting the White Lions. Not too many great targets, but yeah, shooting the White Lions probably is honestly a fine choice here. Oh, one sec. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh god. Etiquette, I'm too weak. Oh god. Oh. It's like right on the edge of my palate here. Okay. Just a warning, if I sneeze, I'll jump away and try and mute my microphone in time, but no guarantees. So here they come. The Dawi march forward. Felix and Gotrek, just like in the books, the heroic headlong charge into their foes here. And the Bolt Throwers seem to be doing well. 1 Organ Gun is destroyed. There's 2 left, and it should be shooting now. Yeah, it looks like it's setting up to shoot. Now it's going to be ripping some shots. Should do some decent damage here into the Lions, and it looks like, yeah, they've taken a bit of losses here. Yeah, they're down to 71 models. Gotrek charging in. He's like, hey, guys, what's up? Let's do some battle. Looks like he's pulling back now. He's like, all right, screw this shit. Let's get Felix. Let's get Ungrim and do our business here. Yeah, the Bolt Throwers actually proved to be a pretty decent gambit here against the Organ Guns. The Organ Guns are just getting sniped, and also the Thunderers here are taking a bit of a pounding. Blasting charges going down to the White Lions, and also you can see Dwarf Warriors piling in, which is a massively favored engagement here for the White Lions. But with the heroes, with getting Gotrek, Felix, and Ungrim there, they should be able to at least win some of those frontline fights. Now Thunder shooting into the Lion Chariots of Grace. Lion Chariots of Grace, of course, very durable against missile play with their 30% missile resist. And it looks like the Nargrimlings Ironbreakers should hold well, but the other Narnia Lions have gotten back here and are now running through the Thunders, which is very unfortunate. And that very expensive investment here of the Organ Gun is going to be going offline, so that really hurts pretty bad. Rangers, nice play here by Poison Ducky, have also snuck around the very tight opening here in the edge of the formation. That's what she said. And they're going to be moving in to do some battle here versus the Thunders and these other units. In the meantime, Lion Chariot of Grace still just causing massive disruption. Certainly going to be a tough fight for the Dawi. However, their hero core has done very well. Here you can see the White Lions have been punished by the trio of heroes. And honestly, if you can methodically do that, just keep moving through and beating down all these different infantry units, that could be a way for them to get some solid value. Ooh, look at this. And the Dragonback Slayers have gotten us around on Eltharion the Grim, 2400 HP. This bad boy is taking a bit of damage and might actually get trapped in here. That's a huge catch for the Dawi. What you would want to do in this situation is grab the Dragonback Slayers and move them past Eltharion to get a more proper surround, but in this case, he is able to get away there and will be getting some healing. Also, we got some Dwarves who've made it through, some Dwarf Warriors making their way back towards the Bolt Throwers as the hero squad of Gotrek, Felix, and Ungrim continue to try and seek value here on the battlefield. It's pretty even. Organ Gun crew looking like they wanted to get back, but all of the Organ Gun pieces have been destroyed by the Bolt Throwers, and oh, this could actually be really, really big for the Dwarves. If the Dragonback Slayers just move through and annihilate all of the Bolt Throwers, that would actually be a huge, huge win for sure. Although now they're going to be attacked by the Chariots. Honestly, though, this is probably one of the best ways the Dwarves have to deal with the Lion Chariots of Grace, is getting the Dragonback Slayers on them, because they slow, they have anti-large. You can see the Lion Chariots are taking massive damage, actually. The Dragonback Slayers also take damage, but I think that's a better trade for the Dawi, that they're able to drag that bad boy down. Nargrimlings Ironbreakers still holding like absolute champions, and the hero squad for the Dawi seems to be doing pretty well. Moving in, and like I said, just picking off units of White Lions while they can. And now these Slayers are going to be moving back to try and get onto the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, I think, but they've got to be careful. They 100% do not want to be fighting these armored White Lions here. That is going to be a horrible trade for them, but it looks like he's going in balls deep, man. This guy's no mercy here. And now they get caught on White Lions, which is pretty much a death sentence for these guys. I think they're going to be in a little bit of trouble, but balance of power is pretty damn even at this point. It's like right in the middle. It's been a great game by both players. Here you can see Gotrek and Felix and also Ungrim are still doing the work of the ancestor gods, although Felix, he's, I'm sure, reluctantly doing it. And the Nargrimlings Ironbreakers, 69 models, that's what she said, I'm sorry, I can't resist. They're going to be throwing some blasting charges into the blob here, which would be very good. That's going to hit the Rangers. Nice blasting charges right there. The White Lions, as well as the Rangers, really get worked on. And the poor Dragonback Slayers, as expected, have met their doom. They extended into the back line, and they were swarmed by some pretty good troops. White lines have great armor. You know, Dragonback Slayers have poor AP. You guys get the picture. Not a pretty one for them. So we will see. So there it goes. The Lion Chariots of Krace moving about. And here we do have the Lion Chariots moving back into the Nurglings Ironbreakers. But now you see the Balance Fire actually goes back to the High Elf favor, because the Bolt Throwers were all taken offline. But once they get back online, it certainly changes the dynamic of the battle here. One issue with the foot characters too is they could potentially be cycle charged pretty badly by the Lion Chariots if the Lion Chariots do manage to survive. But yeah, the Hero Squad's doing great. But look at all the Bolt Throwers. Oh man, the Bolt Throwers are sniping Felix. All 4 of them are ripping shots. We do get some dwarves over here who are able to jump on top of that Bolt Thrower crew and shut it down temporarily, which does pull the balance back to the middle, but it's only going to be a matter of seconds before the High Elves get in here with their Narnia Lions and start to run these bad boys over. So yeah, Lion Chariot's really, really nasty against dwarves here, and you can see these poor Dowie are going to be paying the troll toll, as their axes are not going to be enough to deal with those Lion Chariots. So what it's probably going to come down to is going to be the Dwarven Hero Squad, maybe some Ironbreakers in the 4th quarter, making a valiant last stand, which yeah, I don't know if it's going to be enough with the Lion Chariots online and still a shit ton of infantry here. Maybe so. It depends. If the High Elves are able to snipe Felix, I think it'll be game over. But if Felix is able to somehow survive this and keep holding and getting the healing ability on all these dwarf characters, like you could see Felix isn't near his healing cap nor is Gotrek. So there could be some really beautiful value there. And the Bolt Throwers are almost out of ammunition, but man, oh man, they're doing a lot of damage this game. A very cool build indeed. There goes an Apotheosis healing up the White Lions of Krace as they move in to do battle against the remnants of the Dowie force. The Nurglings Ironbreakers, though they are armored and lack AP themselves, their stats are so elite in the melee defense department that they often can out-trade units like this. Yeah, looks like the Dwarven position able to actually push back the White Lions. They're running for the hills. They're like, screw this shit, man. They're wavering. But so are the Nurglings Ironbreakers, as just a torrent of High Elf Bolt Thrower fire piles in. And this is like a... It's like a game where you have to fight like waves after wave of units. Like wave 1 completed, these guys are broken. Here's wave 2 back here. You have the 73 White Lines of Krace. They're going to be a problem. Very cool build here by the Poison Ducky and by Zeiss as well. But in the end, I think it's going to be a big problem. Gotrek and Felix rushing in. This will be a good fight for the heroes, especially with a couple Ironbreakers still online. But there should be a charge here. Felix is surprisingly easy to break. He doesn't have the best leadership in the world. So yeah, Chariots rear charging into him should potentially break him down. And now the Narnia Chariots have come in here. Felix is at -15 leadership. This is how you beat Gotrek and Felix boxes. You just snipe Felix out and then chase him off the battlefield and prosper. And now it's going to be the 2 Slayers versus the world. So we'll do some fast forwarding. Oh, you better not let Felix come back. Nope, looks like the Lion Chariot's going to hunt down Felix Jaeger. And the Slayers are actually doing surprisingly well. Gotrek and the Slayer King are very, very thick boys to get rid of. Oh no, Eltharion the Grim actually charges in and takes a bunch of damage. Look at that, Apotheosis going down. Better be careful, man. These Slayers are not messing around. So Gotrek does fall, unfortunately. And now we have Ungrim grinding it out here to the bitter end. But with the Narnia Chariots, it's actually surprisingly close. Army losses will be hitting the Dwarves here soon, as Felix and Gotrek are now gone. Slayer King doing his best, but yeah, with Lion Chariots still here to charge him and, you know, plenty of AP infantry, they should be able to finish him off. Eltharion the Grim on his horse, just kind of sitting and chilling. Probably doesn't want to get another axe to the face. And the Slayer King will be meeting his doom here. GG, well played. Awesome scrap between those 2 players. So, there you have it, guys. Eltharion claiming a nice victory right there. You could see the Grim Warden probably didn't do too much himself. But, yeah, the Chariots really carried. The Bolt Throwers were really excellent. Like, against this Dwarf build with the Organ Gun, like, you're investing over 1,000 gold to only get 128 back. That's pretty rough. And yeah, the Lion Chariot's just an absolute pain in the ass. I've used Gyro Bombers to kill them. Slayers can obviously do well if you, like, Rune of Wrath and ruin them. But it's still very, very tough to deal with. And yeah, the Dwarven Heroes almost carried, you know, 2,400, 1,700 here. And yeah, 582. Ironbreakers were awesome, but yeah, the poor Organ Gun. That was like such an unfortunate thing to bring against 4 Bolt Throwers. So unfortunate for sure. All right, and there you have it. Value City reached, I know. Let us go ahead and get ready for the next match here. Eltharion the Grim claiming a victory there. If we load into the intro graphic. Thanks again for joining, guys. We showed you most of the values. Nothing of note, really. Ungrim 24, Gotrek 1,700. That is pretty much the best the Dwarves did, aside from the Dragonback Slayers, who got 1,500, and the Ironbreakers, who got 1,200. For the High Elves, it was really just like mixed across the whole army. Each Chariot got just over 1,000. Each Bolt Thrower got about 1,000. Nothing terribly interesting to point out. All right. So now if we go to the next game here, we've had Eltharion versus Ungrim. Ungrim currently has won 1 and lost 1. So Ungrim is on the ropes, but if Ungrim wins his next game, against Manfred. He will be advancing. So let's go ahead and check that out. We'll go into that game. So the Dowie facing off against the Vampire Counts. We have Black Phillip on Manfred, who has been eliminated already. However, if he's able to defeat the dwarves, he will drag the dwarves down to the depths with him. So it should be quite a bit of fun. Yeah, Eltharion's incredibly OP, apparently. Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, you can bring 5 White Lions, and then from there you can bring like 3 Swordmasters, I think. Which is usually the meta way to play that. I think there was 5. Oh, man. Oh, that's some nice stretches there. Oh, boy. Nice and tasty. All right, guys. Loading into the next match. This is the deciding factor for the dwarves. The Vampire Counts could be the party ruiners. So if the Vampire Counts defeat the dwarves here, the dwarves will not be advancing. They will be losing 2 games, if I'm not mistaken, because we did see them beat Coast, and then they lost to High Elves. So this is a big one for them here. Manfred does have it's a very Manfred thing, right? Like Manfred just trolling, dragging someone down to hell with him. Yeah, it's very much Manfred. We got cannons. We have Ungrim, Felix, so the hero squad once again, and very much a defensive dwarven box, which is normal. This is how you play this matchup. Usually you don't see artillery against vampires, a little bit risky because of zombie summons on them, but generally it can do okay. So that's the dwarven box. We have Feasters in the Dusk hanging out in the back, and for the vampire army, a super wide, thick force. Oh my god. 1,000,000 Graveguard, with both great weapons and standard variant. Double Black Coach, Konigstein Stalkers, Fellbats, and Manfred up on the Dragon. Honestly, not a bad build. Not a bad build. Graveguard great weapons are really strong. Typically, though, you see like Cairn Wraiths mixed in. They're really hard for dwarves to deal with, especially if you know your opponent isn't able to bring Grombrindle, who does magic damage. The Cairn Wraiths can be really obnoxious. So they are on the Pillar of Bone, and there you can see that the cannon able to rip a nice shot here into the Black Coach, which is now going to be disappearing behind the terrain. So very good play there by Black Phillip, utilizing his terrain. Yeah, Lady Turn's art piece is amazing. I want it for myself, and yeah, I said we were going to show it after the replays here, so we'll get it up, and yeah, you'll love it, man. I want to buy it for myself, but she would see that it was bought by this address, and yeah, that's that. So here comes the Feasters in the Dusk, pulling back into the tree line. And now we do have the zombies and the whole horde of the undead advancing on the dwarf position. The Valiant Dwarves rocking Giant Slayers and Dragonback Slayers, with Longbeards as their baseline troops and Ironbreakers. Ooh, Ironbreakers, double Ironbreaker. This is a metal wall. Oh yeah, I watched Cobra Kai. It's amazing. Yeah, Cairn Wraiths are actually really good against dwarves, yeah. So are Sirens. It's because dwarves, they don't have too much magic damage, and it can take them forever to kill. It just buys you time to win with your other assets. The Black Coaches taking the very circuitous route. Going to be going up and through the trees, which is a very smart play there by Black Phillip. Over here in the front, we have the Graveguard with great weapons piling in. It looks like, oh my god, I can't help myself. I'm sorry. There's 69 models, that's what she said. They're moving in. And why is it every time I look at a unit, it has that? Like every single time. Yeah, breath attacks are one of the best ways to defeat dwarf boxes. So essentially you would send in zombies against the Ironbreakers. Manfred would fly on the side. He'd breath attack. You instantly get like 1,000 gold value. It's like just destruction. But you have to be pretty on point with that. Also not too aggressive. Like it's more of a patient long game than it is like a blitz against dwarves, because they're going to be in a box, which is going to take some time to break. Now here we do have the box opening up a little bit as the Ironbreakers do move forward. And they are going to be throwing some juicy blasting charges into a blob, mind you. So that's going to hit both the Graveguard as well as the zombies, as an invocation does go down from Manfred. And these zombies and Graveguard also take substantial damage there from the Ironbreakers, who are just still ripping huge value into these units. That must feel pretty good for the old Dowie. Getting the triple character squad on top of Graveguard is also going to be very strong. With the 3 combined weapon strength of all these units being over 1,000, just beating on one Graveguard unit, that's huge. And man, look at the zombies and the Graveguard here, probably going to start crumbling soon. Manfred, in the meantime, needs to get a breath attack, like right here. Just do it. It looks like it's coming right there, but oh, a really nice dodge there by Size Phenom. He's able to dodge that bad boy, so that would have done a ton of damage, but he did pull back. Very good reaction time from him. And now the Ironbreakers are going to be pulling back into the box here and getting ready to live long and prosper, potentially. In the front, Graveguard getting worn down. These ones getting absolutely karate chopped, and here the Ironbreakers should be able to defeat these ones. Now we have Giant Slayers fighting Sternsmen, which honestly, Giant Slayers have amazing AP and could really actually do some big damage. So now the Vampires need to get their heavy weapons in. So the Black Coaches charging into the back of the Ironbreakers there is quite strong. But so far it seems like the Dwarves are in a pretty commanding position as they're methodically picking apart many of the elite units. But a very good summon by Manfred here is going to be a big breadwinner as it shuts down that cannon. But Manfred needs to get busy, like attack these Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. I know playing conservative is kind of the status quo for vampires, but like there's no threats to him here. He can land here, he can pull back safely. That really is going to be important here. One Black Coach actually taking a hit from the Slayer King, as well as Gotrek, is going to be retreating back this way. The Black Coach is trying to scurry away from the Dwarven Hero squad, but now the Dwarven Heroes are going to be moving in. Here they come, getting into the back of the Sternsmen here. So the Giant Slayers and I think it's also some Dwarf Warriors mixed in here. Should be able to beat down the Sternsmen. I'm telling you, this is a ton of stopping power here. Like Ungrim is like 440, Gotrek is like 470 right here, and Felix himself is 380, but also has AP and bonus for his infantry with his sword. I think it's called Karagul or Kazagul or something. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. But yeah, Sternsmen getting absolutely dunked on. And here we do have the Feasters in the Dusk. If you are a Vampire Count player, Feasters in the Dusk are often brought as a Vanguard deployment to sneak up on the back of Dwarven lines and essentially just start nibbling on like defending Slayers or different things like that in the back line here. So they're coming in, man. But still, the Dwarf Warriors and Slayers holding pretty firm. 44 models on those guys. The Dwarven Cannon is shut down, and also one unit of the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass have been broken. So though the Vampires are taking some casualties, the important thing is they still have both Black Coaches and Mannfred alive, but he needs to get more aggressive with Mannfred. Mannfred needs to get in there and get down and dirty. And that also like distracts the Hero Squad, because then they're going to chase Mannfred. Although, ooh, a big breath attack going in. That was a good one. That was good. Yeah, that did a bunch of damage to those Ironbreakers. That was solid. Mannfred getting back on the old horse here. And now the Feasters in the Dusk are moving in. They're going to be attacking Slayers, although they are intercepted by some Dwarf Warriors, it would appear. Although, excuse me. Anakin, I'm too weak. Almost sneezed again. The Dwarf Warriors are actually routing. They're not intercepting. Pretty funny stuff. So both Black Coaches very healthy. Mannfred also very healthy. Black Coach is now going to be charging into the back of the Longbeards here to do some juicy damage. And you can see these Longbeards going to be taking some work as Mannfred, and all of his Ball to Glory, jumps in there and finally starts to get some huge flash damage here on these Ironbreakers, which is really needed. Black Coaches are actually surprisingly good in sustained combat. They actually have a buff that the longer they're in combat, they get stronger. So sometimes charging Black Coaches is good. They have a huge charge bonus, but sometimes it's not a bad idea to leave them in combat and let them fight a little bit. Dwarven leadership seems to be holding relatively well. We do have the Dwarf Warriors here breaking, but Longbeards are, of course, ITP. They're immune to psychology. Ironbreakers are ITP, so a lot of this Dwarf army isn't going to be getting terror routed, and you'll have to break them the good old-fashioned way. So the Dwarven Hero Squad's still bumping and grinding here. The Konigstein Stalkers going down. It looks like these Sternsmen were completely KO'd at this point, so I don't think those bad boys are back. We do have some dreaded Fellbat reserves here, although they wouldn't be too useful. Probably just using them to chase off Ironbreakers when something breaks would be really good. And Mannfred's third breath attack is okay. I would give that like a C+ or a B- there in terms of the value accrued, but still not bad. Against Ironbreakers, every model you can take out is a big winner here. So Feasters in the Dusk are being grinded down. They themselves are good against Slayers, but when they're being surrounded and beaten on by heavy metal Dwarf infantry, especially Ironbreakers, they are not going to be lasting very long, and this is a pretty close fight, honestly. The Dwarves, of course, running a little bit light over here. Nice zombies coming here on top of the cannon will help ensure it doesn't come back online. And now Mannfred's going to be going for an engagement right here. Although he's got to watch out. The Hero Squad is close by, but it is Ungrim. There's no Flash Bomb. There's no Grumbrindle. There's no Runesmith to slow you down. So Mannfred, with proper micro and control, should be able to get away. And now you can see the Dwarf Heroes are going in. Mannfred better run, man! There are two pissed off Slayers. Two of the most powerful Slayers in all of the old world going in for the kill here on Mannfred von Karstein. And that bad boy most certainly needs to pull back. Balance of Power is actually a little bit Vampire Count favored, as the Black Coaches are still very healthy, causing a ton of problems. One of the strongest things the Black Coaches could do is also knocking Felix. If they can find and isolate Felix away from the other Slayers and escort him off the map, man oh man, that would be huge. That would take away healing and also a substantial amount of DPS from the Dwarf army. Mannfred over here, though, this is where he wants to go. Go get those Norgumlings Ironbreakers. They are fighting Graveguard Great Weapons, which are slowly kind of chipping through them, but 273 kills on these Graveguard, or excuse me, on these Norgumlings Ironbreakers. That's some serious shit, man. Here it comes. Here comes Mannfred. Diving in, going for the kill, baby. And you can see that the poor Ironbreakers here are not going to enjoy fighting a giant zombie dragon. Although they haven't lost any models since he landed, which is pretty insane. Yeah, despite the huge AP damage he has here. Black Coaches still riding around, but the Vampires are really running out of support on the ground, which can often be a death knell for the Vampires, because without that, all they have is single entities, and they can get killed by these Slayer characters relatively well. We got 47 Ironbreakers. They're finally starting to get worn down, but their leadership is still 41. Norgumlings Ironbreakers have, like, insane leadership. Oh, look at this! Seiss actually got the cannon back online. That's crazy, but it looks like a zombie summon is going to be coming down to shut that bad boy down. Fellbats here should 100% go after that cannon. If that thing comes back in, like, the fourth quarter of the game and starts to cause some big disruption, man oh man, that would be very scary indeed. So Felix, Ungrim, as well as Gotrek, are now moving over to start pounding on the Graveguard Great Weapons, which is smart. one by one work through those elite Vampire Count infantry. Felix has got his big sword, and he's been healing these characters the entire game, so very little damage has been put onto the Dwarven Hero Goon Squad, which is quite scary, but it's also looking a little bit, you know, nerve-wracking here for the Dawi, right? They just have a couple Slayers here and like 10 Giant Slayers, and aside from that, it's just like this Ironbreaker and Longbeard pocket, which is probably where they're going to be making their final stand here, because Mannfred and company are coming over here and really doing a bunch of damage. Yeah, look at this, man. There's not too many Slayers left. 30 Longbeards, we got 10 Dragonback Slayers. Yeah, the Black Coaches, of course, should be very, very disruptive there. But the Longbeards and this pocket with the Norgrimlings, Ironbreakers, Gotrek, Ungrim, and Felix able to karate chop down those great weapons. They are now down to 2 models, and the zombie summons are going to be waiting their way in. This is an incredibly close game, guys. Very, very close. The question is, does Mannfred have some summons in his back pocket? Does he have some to drop where he can then isolate and goon the characters while the zombie summons kind of take the damage from the army? He really needs to escort Felix out of that formation. Felix is a problem. Like right now, for example, probably taking Mannfred and diving Felix would be like a potentially game-winning play, but it's an easy thing to miss. So Felix is like isolated here, but no, you can see Seiss, very well played by him. He sees that Felix is alone and he pulls back his forces to cover that, because that was a relatively big hole right there, but we'll see. Mannfred going in. Maybe a little bit too late on that, but he does punt Felix away. This is good. Just keep chasing Felix. Oh, really nice play there by Black Phillip. He drops zombies to try and muck up this charge. However, the dwarves still get to him despite the zombie summon. But he needs to get Felix out of the formation. He lunges. Just keep attacking Felix. Get the Black Coaches over here and just really hammer him down. Otherwise, there's going to be constant healing and for both Ungrim as well as Gotrek, and they'll be in some trouble here. So we do have Felix, but he did get punted the right way this time, and it seems that Mannfred is having a lot of trouble actually hitting Felix. He's kind of constantly getting knocked over. The Black Coaches here still disrupting this Dwarven formation. 5 Dragonback Slayers and 30 Longbeards on the brink of either being destroyed or routing there. But the Balance of Power does kind of pull back to the middle a little bit. For a lot of the game, it was Vampire Count favored, but I think a big problem is in the early game, they took some serious losses that maybe could have been avoided on the Graveguard units, but by sending in zombies first and taking more safe routes with the Graveguard, but that might end up biting him in the butt here, right? As those Graveguard right now at this point can still be functional, still be fighting, but we will see. Black Coaches coming in again, 2 Dragonback Slayers. We have 25 Longbeards, beautiful leadership on these dwarves, and still rocking 50 leadership more or less here on the Ironbreakers, which is insane. And the Hero Squad trying to get on Mannfred, but Mannfred pulling back, Black Coaches ramming in. 100% should attack Felix if they can get their ghostly clutches on him. Up in the sky, Mannfred pulling back once more. Going to be turning about face and going in for the kill here on these units. Let's see, maybe going after the Dwarf Warriors here, trying to prevent more units from rallying back. But yeah, the thing is, like, Felbats are disappearing. They're crumbling down soon, I would imagine. There's no zombies left, and all you're going to have left are single entities. Yeah, he's got like a zombie summon here, which is going to be gone soon, I guess. Well, maybe another 30 seconds or so. This is such a close game, yeah. The coaches escorting the dwarves off the battlefield, be like, hey man, go back to the mountains. We'll let you go if you shatter. The dwarves happily shatter, running back to their holds here. And now it looks like Black Phillip is at a point where he's trying to, you know, strategize here about what he wants to take out. Certainly a good idea to go after the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. You do not want to let the dwarves get chaff on their heroes. And hopefully for Mannfred's sake, he has a summon. The dwarves obviously will be very happy if he doesn't have a summon, because then Seiss can basically just beat down the single entities as they come in, whereas zombies kind of muck them up and make it a little bit harder to fight back. The dwarves need Winds of Death, says Poison Ducky. Hey, Poison Ducky in chat. He's our Eltharion the Grim champ in today's stream. He's playing Eltharion to a master class level so far. And the Felbats here, crumbling down. Black Coaches are coming in. Mannfred getting ready to party as well. And here it comes, going to be charging into what appears to be the last Dwarven infantry unit. Yep, taking out the last Slayer there. Norgrimlings, Ironbreakers are making their way back in. Oh man, one of the Black Coaches gets worked on there. Mannfred in response lands, but he needs a zombie summon. He's got a ton of Winds of Magic most likely. He does get an attack on Gotrek, but oh no, the Dwarven Hero Squad has him surrounded. Somehow they got the Mighty Ducks flying V triangle formation on him there. And now he's going to be pulling back, going after the Norgrimlings Ironbreakers, but the Black Coaches are kind of stuck in combat here. And they're going to be getting hammered by the dwarves. One Black Coach most certainly going to be falling at negative 88 leadership as the Slayer King crushes the Black Coach. Now the other one is going to be getting turned on by the 3 dwarven characters as Mannfred fights the Norgrimlings Ironbreakers here. The Vampire Counts are 100% out of chaff, so they're not allowed to cycle charge anymore, so that's why they're staying in combat. But if he had a zombie summon, he could then cycle charge and do his thing, but now he's going to have to chill here. So the Black Coach crumbling due to army losses, and that is going to be a Dawe victory. And the dwarves claiming a mighty defeat over the Vampire Counts. So Vampire Counts are, they've lost all their games. Nonetheless, very well played to Black Phillip. He put up an excellent fight against some very strong opponents. But in the end, the Jawi are able to claim victory with their hero squad here. Yes, yes. Satisfy the grudge. So, we have 1900 on him, 900 here, 1800. The Dwarven Hero's doing great work. And like Ironbreakers, 1100. I bet Norgamlings did crazy damage. 1700 here. Very nice. Cannon even paid for itself, which is cool. Normally it doesn't, you know, in those type of matchups. Satisfy the grudge. And Manfred got 1700. Yeah, like I said, I think some of the early trades were really punishing for the Vampire Counts. And he played pretty well. Got a couple of really good breath attacks, but just in the end, needed to be a little bit more cutthroat and go after some characters that were isolated and things like that. So, GG, well played. There you have it. Let's go ahead and load into our next match here on today's series, as the 4 Legendary Lords in their Group I stage scrap it out. Let's see who's advancing here, guys. Let's do it. Slayers being Slayers, man. That's true. Slayers are Slayers. They slay things. That's what they do. Pretty badass getting that huge battle axe and just crushing. All right, so we cast this game, which was Ungram versus Manfred. And now, my friends, we have another match here, which is going to be Luther versus Eltharion. So we saw Luther Harkin lose to the Dwarves, and he defeated the Vampire Counts. So Luther is 1-on-1. Anticity is 1-on-1 here. Eltharion the Grim has also already advanced, if I'm not mistaken, because this would be a 3-way tie. So if Luther wins, Eltharion advances, Luther advances, and the Dwarves advance, and the Vampire Counts are left. But if Eltharion defeats Anticity here, Poison Ducky defeats him, then that would mean that it's going to be Eltharion advancing and the Dwarves advancing. And then a Coast and Counts would both be eliminated here in the beginning. Yeah. And there you have it, guys. Pretty cool stuff. Should be quite interesting. Yeah, there's one other group out so far, so you guys, if you missed it, can go back and check that out in the Legendary Lords tournament. But in this one, yeah, we're wrapping it up here in this game. So the Jawi have already advanced. They won 2 and lost 1. If I'm not mistaken, I think. I'd have to take a look. My brain is just out of it. There's so much to keep track of. What will Eltharion get stuck on this time? Who knows, man? Who knows? Well, there's a ton of Undead Lords, so despite how this one ends, I mean, there's still a ton of these bad boys. All right, let's load in. Let's do it to it. Let's party. Who played Karl Franz? I think Ulrich Rahl. And then Volkmar the Grim is being played by Talaxon Soothsayer. Dav Plays is playing Balthazar Gelt. And Hero of Rome is playing Marcus Wolfhard, I think. Yeah, I might have missed a couple in there, but I think that's right. All right. Here you go, my friends. We have the Vampire Coast. Oh, this is perfect. Well, darling, I was going to show it after all the battles were over. And this is the last one. All hail the mighty. So good. You guys want it right now? Okay. I was going to show it right at the end there as the capstone to the stream. But let me go ahead and pull this up here real quick. So I'm going to pause this for a moment. We're going to show you, in the spirit of the Vampire Coast game here, we will show you the epic graphic. Oh, that's so freaking cool. How can I show this without... There we go. Perfect. All right, guys, hold on. So right now we are going to create a new scene. Art. And we will... I wonder if I could just drag this in here. Does that work? No, I have to add it manually. Hold on, guys. This is a piece that Lady Turn has done. And she's dropping links in chat if you guys are interested in purchasing it. It's available up on the old eBay. But let me go ahead and make it the right size. All right, perfect. There you go. So yeah, this is all like handmade. So you have the Vampire Coast symbol, a bunch of like, you know, there's some lizard trinkets, some coins, some sea wreckage and various sea foam and, you know, underwater, you know, goodness there. And then on top of that, it also has like an attached piece that hangs under it that says Plunder in Progress. It is so freaking cool. Yeah. Oh, is Lady Turn singing the modified sea shanty with Wookiee? Yeah. I want this one for myself, personally. I want to hang it like on my door, so then if I'm like streaming or something, I can put Plunder in progress and then like turn it around when I'm not streaming. I think that'd be pretty damn cool. Yeah, so check that bad boy out. It's a seafood platter. Yeah, it's all handmade. She spent some time doing it. I'm not sure what if she's still in chat. It sounds like she's on the phone out there, but I think she's in chat. Yeah, like what materials did you use? I think she does like, yeah, there's she uses all, I mean, she's so crafty. She's got like this whole like art lair in the living room where she works on this stuff. I honestly am a complete noob. All I can do is paint 40k miniatures. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. That is an amazing piece of art done by Lady Turret. Let's I want to save it. I know I want it for my hobby shop. I don't want her to sell it. I want it. Yeah, it's really cool. I think you should keep it, Turn. That's awesome, I know. She can always make another one, though, too. That's the thing, you know? Who's on Throt? I'm not sure who's playing Throt and Larry. I think Larry is being played by Jay Phoenix. Yeah. All right, guys. There is the beautiful art by Lady Turin. And motivated by this inspirational piece, we shall load into the next battle here. So let's get this bad boy up and running. And this is the last of these group battles here. And once this is concluded, we'll take a look at the overall scores of all the players, and we'll check the advancements. And then from there, we can do some games on ladder. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. Sigvald has Aerocrastic. Sigvald already advanced. Sigvald's group was already shown. All right. The shanty. I know I should have played the shanty. All right, guys. For the Vampire Coast, we have deckhand mobs. We've got bombers, and the secondary bombers have always been pretty reasonable against high elf rushes, right? Like White Lions, Rangers, whatever. They all take quite a bit of damage there from the old bombers. We got the Sirens on the far side of the formation, some Morngulls as well, and only 2 handguns. So it almost looks like Anticity has like a rush build himself, which is pretty cool. And Luther Harkin, of course, is going to be up in the sky. So he doesn't care about Tempest. He's taking it like a champ. He's getting in there, and he's doing it to it. There you go. And now for the forces of Poison Ducky, so far undefeated here. He defeated the dwarves and the vampires, and if he's able to defeat Anticity, he'll be taking a clean sweep and also eliminating Anticity in the process, which would certainly be quite an accomplishment. So he does have Shadow Warriors here, 4 of those, a bunch of Reavers. We got Foot. Is that Foot Therian the Grim? Oh my god, look. It's Eltharion the Grim on foot, chilling with the Keepers of the Flame. Oh, dude. That's so awesome. Badass. Then we got White Lions into the Sunset. Very, very cool build. Foot Therian the Grim against Luther Harkin with the Keepers of the Flame. Oh, dude, that's so cool. Yes, I am a lucky man indeed. Such an awesome wife. Indeed. So here the Shadow Warriors are pulling back at this point. Now they're being, I don't know what kind of formation. They went into like this spaghetti formation or this baguette formation. Not really sure. But they're going to be pulling back, and they are getting good damage against the Morngulls on the retreat, though they are taking some light casualties. Nothing that they're not going to survive from. So they're moving in, man. They're moving in, ripping some fat shots here into the Morngulls. Morngulls taking big damage. Syrene's actually taking some damage as well. And now the High Elf Infantry Corps, the White Lions and other units, are going to be advancing up to meet this army. And the Bombers will be relatively strong against the White Lions, I suppose. But man, oh man, look at that Shadow Warrior damage. We've seen all 3 versions of Eltharion. We've seen Foot Therian, Horse Therian, and Bird Therian. We've seen them all. And those bad boys have done well every single game, more or less. The Shadow Warriors seem to be performing pretty well, forcing Invocations out, an overcasted one, mind you, and also putting some pressure on the Morngulls there. And it looks like the Elven army here are going to be taking up some defensive refuge here with their archers. Ooh, and a nice Tempest going down as well. Tempest is going to be buttering the bread of Luther Harkin. All hail the mighty, as he's just getting blasted by that Tempest. Yeah, that's the risk of bringing him up on his flying mount, right, is that that can happen. Now here we have Reavers moving out to attack the Scurvy Dogs. Scurvy Dogs overextend a little bit. Reavers able to punish them slightly. And so far it looks like Anticity is just trying to weather the storm, more or less. Here in the front we have Foot Therian the Grim, as well as some of the White Lions pushing down the hill to assist the Keepers of the Flame. Keepers of the Flame, of course, will be more than able to handle the Morngulls here. See, normally, like, when I've seen Anticity play this matchup, if I remember correctly, there's usually mortars and like 1,000,000 guns. Mortars would be super useful here, but he doesn't really have anything that can super punish the Shadow Warriors here, right? It's a little bit of a tricky pickle. So, there comes some big shots into the Morngulls, once again wearing those guys down. The Bombers are taking a very, very conservative play. Luther Harkin has to be really careful because of the Tempest effects, right? So things are getting a little bit scary here. Looks like some Illyrian Reaver Cav going to be charging in potentially into the back of the Deccan mobs, but no, Poison Ducky just taking a very cautious approach with his Shadow Warriors and just ripping shots here into this formation. Yeah, Tempest is one of the strongest abilities in the game. It is very, very nasty for sure. So there it comes, more shots into Luther. He's just juking, but the problem is there's going to be another Tempest off cooldown here in a hot minute. No mortars, no artillery, nothing really with like deck gunners that can really shoot back here. Normally you do see all those, but perhaps he was expecting a rush, because I think the more meta build for High Elves probably is like a rush, right? So now Anticity is going to be moving up his bombers, and the bombers can easily pick on these units on the flanks here, and yeah, I think maybe a little bit more aggression certainly would be very, very welcome so far. And yeah, High Elves haven't taken too much damage. Reaver Cav on the flanks still threatening to collapse on the soft sides here of the Vampire Coast army. And the Shadow Warriors getting some nice bombardments here on those bombers, man. Taking those units out. Bombers really after they got changed, for sure. High Alpha steamrolling today. Yeah, they're doing some work for sure. Here comes a big old Tempest doing some big work against ya boy, Luther Harkin. Negative 72% speed. And yeah, the handgun mobs are shooting over here as well. Trying to rip some shots into the white lines of Krace, who have taken refuge in the tree line there. But like, there's a fair amount of like open positions. Like, you could fight these white lines over here if he moved his army this direction. But yeah, Tempest is really strong. But it's very much like high magic doesn't really bring much else to the table. I mean, yeah, Soul Quench and Apotheosis can be okay, but generally, you know, it's if he doesn't bring a flying character. But in this Legendary Lords tournament, when Luther Harkin is your enemy, you can usually bank on the fact that he is going to be flying up in the air. So a little bit hard to say. Ammo's running low, though. You know, Bounce of Power is a little bit in the favor of the High Elves here, but ammunition is running a little bit low here, so they're ripping their last couple shots here, and then the players are going to be preparing to fight. Anticity is more or less just waiting out the ammunition here. We have a donation I missed from Frostlight. Love your streams and videos, man. You are the Jedi Master of memes. Would it be possible to see Karl Franz for a ladder game? Sure, man. 100%. Empire is my favorite faction, so I'll happily bring Karl Franz for you. So ammunition again. He's got like one more volley. Looks like he wants to rip it into the Mourngulls here. And now the White Lions and the infantry units of the High Elf forces are going to be advancing out of the forest, it looks like. Most of the High Elf army is out of the forest, but some of them, of course, in there. But now we get the Battle of Battles as Eltharion the Grim, Foot Therian, leads the epic charge, but he gets another Tempest on Luther in the background. Mourngulls and Syreens will potentially do well here. Bombers also going to be peppering into the elite units, and you can see the Keepers of the Flame taking a bit of shock damage, but man, oh man, Luther is just getting single-handedly wrecked by those Tempests, which I'm sure at this point in the game he probably felt as if he should have maybe just brought him on the ground. You know, who knows? I mean, Foot, it would have been really funny to see Foot Luther versus Foot Therian, because on Foot, you know, he would be in like perfect health right now, more or less. So Syreens holding up the frontline charge. Bombers are really peppering into the High Elf forces. You can see that those bad boys are taking quite a bit. Yeah, it looks like the Deccan mobs and Bombers might be able to win, but Bombers aren't what they used to be. They're certainly not as devastating. I don't know what it is, the explosion damage or the number reduction, but Bombers just don't pack that punch like they usually do. So Vampire Fleet Captain fighting with the Mourngulls here on the flank, able to clean up some of that mess. We do have some Scurvy Dogs in the back, but the thing is all the Shadow Warriors are out of ammo, so there's no point in really ganking them with dogs right now. Although Scurvy Dogs here and Bombers, yeah, doing good work. Handgun mobs blasting into the Illyrian Reavers, and it seems like Vampire Coast, outside of their Lord, are getting a lot of good trades. The fact that Luther Harkin has just been blasted by Tempest so damn hard really has been a huge problem. Here in the back, Scurvy Dogs swerving around the back. The White Lions of Krace are broken and getting hunted down. Really good play there by Anticity, making sure to chase those guys down. And yeah, Bomber's still wrecking in there, but Foot Therian is here, man. He's got the Fang Sword of Eltharion popped. This bad boy is ready. And I think it actually, yeah, he does do magic damage here, so he's going to be able to work on those Syreens pretty well. Look at Foot Therian, so cool. Luther Harkin going in for a gooning, which I think is a very smart play. Obviously, Luther's taken a bunch of damage, but this is an opportunity for him to recoup some value, and so far it looks like Anticity is getting some really good gooning. Foot Therian here is at about 1,700, Luther's at about sub 1,000, yeah, and you can see the Phoenix Guard are really peppering him too. He maybe wants to get back here. He's got 20 leadership. Over here, Vampire Coast has gotten their handguns online and is ripping some fat shots, but Shadow Warriors piling into melee. They're not bad. Shadow Warriors do have 38 and 34 for their combat stats base, which is really, really actually quite good and can defeat Deccan mobs no problem. But oh no, another Tempest coming in, but very good play by Anticity. So if you guys are getting Tempested, if you land on the ground when they cast Tempest, you don't take the damage. You only take the damage if you're up in the sky. So you're still slowed, but you do not take the damage from Tempest unless you're up in the sky. In this case, though, the Shadow Warriors and the White Lions of Krace are able to push through. Foot Therian the Grim doing the work here. Able to grind through these Syreens and move it. Looks like Luther's coming in for one last death thrust. The death throes of Luther Harkin. as he's at 8 leadership. His ammunition's pretty good, but yeah, there's so many High Elves on the battlefield. The Shadow Warriors really proving to be a good pressure piece in melee as well, which is pretty badass to see. And with that, the High Elves are going to be claiming victory. The Shadow Warrior Foot Therian, really, that game was won by Tempest. That Tempest was so good. Also, the Bombers really didn't have too many good targets. Like, I bet you no Bomber got over 500 value. That's just a guess. Ah, okay, I'm wrong already. Yeah, totally wrong. 2 of them got about 100, 500, and then the other ones got like 800 and 900. So they still did okay, for sure. Syrene's 800 here. Luther Harkin, yeah. Luther is really expensive on his mount, and he got shut down. He did not get to do his thing. The Mourngulls also got wrecked pretty bad, 125 and 700 something there. All right. And there you have it, guys. Foot Therian the Grim rocking 1700 value. White Lions across the board got like nothing, but they were just there to grind. Shadow Warriors really were the hard carries there. Yeah. 1400, 1200, 1400, and 1200. Beautiful stuff. And look at that. The Phoenix Guard actually got 2183. Eltharion the Grim. And now, my friends, that concludes today's round. We can take a look at the overall group stage. So, advancing is going to be Eltharion the Grim with a 3-0 sweep of his group, followed up by the Dwarves with a 2-1, losing one game against the High Elves, actually. So he went 2-1. The Vampire Coast and the Vampire Council will be eliminated from this group. There you have it. There you have it indeed. A great game indeed. I know some of you guys in chat were looking to see how the Vampire Coast can potentially deal with Dwarves. There's a couple ways, like I said, but I will show you the way right now via a replay. Less of a cast and more of like an analysis. But yes, I'll show you right now. YCA hasn't nerfed Eltharion yet. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they should. He's too strong. Cost increase on Eltharion needed. Yeah, no, apparently so. All right, guys. So now we're going to do a couple things. We'll show you a replay. I think I still have it here, so let me go ahead and delete that one. I have so many goddamn replays right now. Jesus. And let me find it. So it was this one. Yeah. So let's switch back to the local recording. Yeah, here it is. Ungram. Ungram advances. Sice advances. Poison Ducky advance. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying this format. I've been having a blast. It's certainly fun. So this is my build, but now that I'm showing people, unfortunately, it probably won't be as much of a surprise. But if I do have to play Dwarves, this is a build I've been using. So you go Nocturals on foot, Zombies, Triple Cyrene, Double Depth Guard, and Quad Deck Gunner with some Scurvy Dogs. So we're facing off against Grombrindle right now. This was in the Faction War style single tournament we had. So I ended up facing Dwarves. It's a single elimination, right? So I had no choice. I had to fight the Dawi here, which really, really sucks. So there is the build. It's Triple Cyrene, Double Depth Guard, Basic Depth Guard. The polearms are good here, but I find these ones are a little bit more sustainable. And then Quad Deck Gunner with Count Noctilus to give some buffering while you're also harassing with Scurvy Dogs and things like that. So that is more or less it. So now if we look at the Dwarf Army here, this is pretty standard. I mean, he's got Dwarf Warriors in the front, secondary line's a shitload of bows. The back line is Dwarf Warriors with some great weapons, just like spamming units, right? And then Slayers to back everything up. So the important thing in dealing with this is actually to shoot these Slayers. Everything else can be killed by Syrenes and Depth Guard, but Slayers, not so much. So right now, who went through in the end? Eltharion and Ungram advanced. So the Dawi army is going to be advancing on me here. The first thing I do is get my Deck Gunners in a relatively cozy position, and we are going to be blasting Slayers into the Shadow Realm. Slayers are one of the most pressing units here. They are very, very quick. They can chase down your gun units and are unbreakable too, right? And Undead does not want to be fighting other unbreakable shit. So Deck Gunner is going to be ripping some fat salvos here into the Slayers. And for anyone joining, this is not part of the group stage. This is just a showcase of how I like to fight against Dwarves with Vampire Coast. It's still Dwarf favored, and you're really going to be struggling, but it's winnable. So here, Deck Gunners ripping a huge, huge amount of shots right there. You can see right now, down to 48 models from 60, and that's great, because now we can just send in some Syrenes to fight them. On top of that, Count Noctilus does extend into the front lines and drops a Zombie Summon in the back line, which will distract these infantry while these Scurvy Dogs collapse on the flank and attack the Rangers right there. So we are able to get on the Rangers, which feels quite good. But there's going to be a reckoning eventually. The Dwarves will reach the front line and things are going to get messy. But Syrenes, very tanky against Slayers with their physical resist, should be able to defeat these 35 Slayers. But now we have even more pushing through, and, you know, the coast front line really does struggle to hold up against dwarves. So now that we're line of sighted here, we're going to be shooting at the other slayers. So you can see all 4 of my deck gunners have switched their firepower here onto these slayers and are certainly doing quite well. Scurvy Dog still causing ample disruption here in the back line with my summons. And 1 unit of Scurvy Dogs here is being chased by Dragonback Slayers, which is actually a substantial win for us. The fact that he's chasing a very, you know, cheap unit with an expensive, powerful piece of his army. So Depth Guard, you don't want to use them in the front line. If you guys are a Coast player here, you do not want to be using Depth Guard in the front line. You use them in the back as a reserve piece, an actual reserve piece, that when something gets through your frontline defenses, you use them to clean up the very battered units. So right now you can see that we do have the Deck Hunter still blasting these Slayers. They're pretty much on death's bed, and now the Depth Guard can emerge from the back. We pull back the Deck Hunters, and the Depth Guard should be able to just massacre these Slayers, no problem. Here they come, the Vampire Berserkers, ready to party as they dehead that Slayer right there. In the meantime, Count Noctiluss is running from Belegar. Belegar is often a choice in this matchup because he's very cheap and allows you to go very wide, which can be punishing against Coast. But we have cleaned up the back line. The Syrenes and the Depth Guard staying out of range of the bows, which are now slowly advancing. We've been Scurvy Dog harassing them and, you know, doing some decent work there. But, you know, the dwarves are still got a lot of bows back here. Scurvy Dogs have been an absolute pain in the butt. Here they come. These Scurvy Dogs are going to be hammering into the Rangers once again. Not killing them, but more so distracting them. You know, because eventually the Rangers can probably even fend off Scurvy Dogs. But we really just need to buy time for our Deck Gunners, which we're now pulling back. We're readjusting, and we're going to be opening up with some heavy-duty shots here. Also, I think most of our Syrenes are in good shape. We got 39 here. We got 45 right here. I think we've only lost 1 Sirene unit outright. And we have pretty good buffering. Like, if you look here, you can see there's not too much Dwarven pressure here. A lot of the Dwarves have been really circumvented by this backline pressure. And, yeah, just kind of keep pulling them back. It's really important not to, like, just sacrifice them to try and keep them alive, because it's a constant thorn in the side of the Dwarves. So here comes the Dwarf Warriors and Belegar. The entire game, I have to say, I did think it was Grombrindle, so I was acting really afraid of him. But since it's Belegar, you know, you don't need to be as worried. Also with Syrenes, like, if you find you're losing a fight or they're crumbling, just run. Syrenes are very quick with 48 speed, so you can pull back, get indications, you know, reset yourself, and generally do, you know, pretty well in that respect. So Syrenes here, crumbling down, probably not going to be able to save them, but now the Dwarves are piling in very aggressively, so I do have to send in my reserves of the Depth Guard. Depth Guard will make quick work of Dwarf Warriors and also should trade well with Slayers. And here the other Slayers pushing through, I'm going to intercept with Syrenes. Pulling back the Deck Gunners once again. These ones are going to be pulling back. These ones are still shooting. We're trying to blast into the Rangers back here, and these Syrenes up in the trees are able to get away, and now will be pulling back. Dwarves, of course, have plenty of room to kind of troll me and flank around my backside here, so I have to be careful about that. But really, like I said, kill the Slayers. Those are the biggest threat to you, because Syrenes and Depth Guard, if you're using this build, can more or less do, you know, deal with the other threats here. Count Noctiluss is still in good shape too. He's got good AP, should be able to duel your boy Belegar later on. And here the Syrenes are defeating these Slayers with the support of Invocation, and these Depth Guard are doing amazing work, just cutting through lines and lines of Dwarf Warriors. Although the Dwarf Warrior Great Weapons will be a little bit problematic for them, especially with heroic support, the Scurvy Dog pressure in the backline is still going on. So we do have Scurvy Dogs back here chasing down and routing archer units that the Deck Gunners are kind of softening up here. And yeah, we are a little bit ahead on the balance of power. It's pretty darn close at this point, but now some Slayers have gotten into the back line, which is really bad. Deck Gunners are very much one of the biggest glass cannon units in the entire game. So these guys getting hunted down by Slayers means pretty much instant death. They're already crumbling. They're at negative 18 leadership, and 10 HP per second on these units actually is really, really problematic for sure. Oh no, he can definitely get around if he wants to. There's plenty of room here, especially for dwarves like here and here. So there comes a big Wraithstorm, dropping that on the head of Belegar Ironhammer. In the backside, you can see that the Scurvy Dogs are able to feast there on the Rangers, and now they're going to be piling on over to these other Rangers. And Rangers aren't bad in combat, but, you know, Scurvy Dogs, they can certainly chew on the light armor. And I have to say, the Doggos have been big MVPs. Like, look how many units he's keeping back here. Like, if these units were all on the front line pressing at the same time, and the Scurvy Dogs were, you know, weren't pressing him, I would just be dead right now. The game would be 100% over. So the Deck Hunter is still shooting in, Depth Guard fighting quite well. A lot of my heroic units still are in great shape. You know, I have the Syrenes, Depth Guard, and these ones are getting a little bit low here, but another full health unit of Syrenes dealing with these units, but a big, fat, erect final Invocation. The Invocation of Nehet going down here is going to heal those units up, but now this is where things get a little scary, and the Dwarves could potentially come back in the game. Dragonback Slayers moving in, and they are going to kill these Deck Hunters super quick. So just, you know, I'm like, okay, they're probably going to die. So I better pile back here and kill as many Dragonback Slayers as I can while they're busy going after these Deck Hunters right here. So we will see. We're trying our best. One Deck Hunter unit still alive. Syrene's still holding here. Count Noctiluss, though, in a little bit of a trap. And this could honestly lose me the game if Count Noctiluss got kind of mucked up and killed here by Belegar. But we do drop a summon here. And man, Count Noctiluss runs like an NFL linebacker with like shoulder pads on. He's able to move away there. We do get away from Belegar. Belegar, of course, the angry Dwarf King, going to be hunting him down, but this Death Gunner is done for. We even have one Slayer over here, this like troll. Look at this guy. He's just like he's just chopping away at these poor Death Gunners, which is hilarious. Syrenes doing great, and what's cool about having the Syrenes functional at this point is now I can use them to like press the archers if I want to. Up in the trees, Count Noctilus is going to be running away from Belegar. No way in hell I want that shit. 38 speed against 32, so I should be able to keep some decent distance here. And here, the Dragonback Slayers are in mortal combat here versus the Death Guard. Death Guard have earned several chevrons this game. My Death Gunners are pinned here and will be going down for sure. And yeah, man. The Dwarven Bows are moving up. They're ripping shots into the Syrenes. We'll do a little bit of fast forwarding as there's some posturing here. Syrenes are, you know, they're tanky and all, but, you know, focus fire from Dwarves can kill them. You can see here a couple Rangers, like, making them crumble and die, like, instantly. So I decided to run them into the trees and try and save them up for an invocation later. So the overall strategy is get my Depth Guard units together, get the Syrenes together, and maybe get a big overcasted invo. Death Gunners are ripping what little shots they can here in the fourth quarter of the game. And the Dwarf Warriors, thankfully, are pushed back by the Syrenes, which is going to buy some time for my Death Gunners to keep blasting. So, yeah, it's still a super hard scrap for sure, Emperor Palpatine. It's Dwarf favored. And though I am currently winning this, my opponent has made a fair amount of mistakes with, you know, like having too much back there defending the Rangers. If there had been more frontal pressure, I don't know if I would have been able to hold it. So it's hard to say here. Anyways, Count Noctilus is doing his thing, chasing down some of these units. Syrenes now pushing into the Ranger line is a huge win for us. So we get onto these Rangers, and the Depth Guard here basically just running from the Dwarves now. I'm like, okay, I can't win over here. I have to sacrifice the Death Gunners at this point. They're done for. And now we are going to be moving up here and forming a new kind of Helm's Deep of sorts. We have Depth Guard, we have Syrenes, 2 of each actually, and Count Noctilus isn't near his healing cap, so, you know, heals and summons still are on the table. So if we kind of take a look at everything, the Dwarves do have Rangers, Belegar, and a couple Dwarf Warriors in the mix, and I have a lot of elite units. I'm currently chasing off these Rangers to make sure they don't come back and shoot me. And yeah, so we're going to be meeting up, still a 10-minute game, despite it being very, very close. And now we will be unifying our forces as the Syrenes chase those Rangers, and we prepare for the final battle. So my troop quality is exponentially better than his. He's got Rangers, and this is at the point of the game when I realized it was Belegar. I was like, oh shit, it's Belegar, I'm okay. So Count Noctilus isn't going to be afraid to go in here. So we move in with those units. The Rangers take a massive amount of damage, but with the Mighty Oathstone certainly makes him a little bit tankier. And now I don't mind letting Noctilus fight Belegar. Belegar, of course, is a good duelist, but he doesn't have the best AP. It's like, alright, it's fine. Syrene's coming in the back here. Depth Guard flanking from the other side, so getting a nice little surround right there. And from here, the Dwarven army should be crumbling to the might of my Depth Guard and my Syrenes. So that build is pretty good. It's still massively Dwarf favored. If the Dwarves play like a pretty smooth game, you know, they'll usually win that. But, I mean, he's a really good player. Grombrindal. He's a solid tournament player and one of the best Dwarf players in the community, right? And if it can work against him, it can work. Depth Guard got 1,800 and 1,400. Syrenes, not a ton of value, but they're more of a roadblock. Death Gunner, 700, 500, 800, and 500. So not a ton, but it forces the Dwarves into an awkward position. And it killed a ton of Slayers, too, which is nice. Scurvy Doggo, 600 and 400, respectively. So the Depth Guard really seemed to carry that with the Death Gunners. So there you guys go. You wanted to see my build against Dwarves. That's it. On some maps, that doesn't work. This is for medium-sized to small maps. Big maps, it's not as good. Yeah. All right, guys. Hopefully that answers your question. And now we can go ahead and do one. We'll do one quick battle, and then from there I will do. I feel like playing some Empire actually. Ooh. We'll do an FFA. All right, Sons of Sigmar, raise up. Let's go. Let's get the Condom Wolf to block things, and we're all set. Oh, Wouter Ven, yeah. Typically, if there's not enough room for your opponent to maneuver around it, then yeah, it's kind of like a situational thing. Oh yeah, we're playing Bretonnia. Okay, I have a fun build here. This will be great. This will be great. Empire versus Bretonnia. Ooh yeah, that looks good. Good and tasty. Yep, the Throng is mustard apparently. Yeah. Hey. Thanks for joining Roundish Whale. I know it's getting late for you guys, but really appreciate hanging with you all. And now we're going to do this, and then we'll do an FFA afterwards. So the FFA is always super fun. Yeah, it's always a blast. Always a blast indeed. Ready when you are. What map are we on? We are on Doc Karaz. Okay. Looks good to me. Looks like a good time. Glorious FFA. Bring me to my men. Franz is great here. Franz is good in this matchup. He does some serious work for sure. Yeah, I'm a big Franz man. Yeah, the Condom Wolf blocker is good. Somebody sent me a colorized version of it, so I'm going to use that one next time. I just totally forgot to throw it in there. Hey, take care, Baba Wamba. Hope you guys enjoyed the group stages. I had a blast with those games. They were real fun, man. Yeah, this should work fine, honestly. I'm liking this build. I'm digging it. I don't want to ready up on him unless he's ready. Not everyone has builds saved. I used to never save builds. Oh, he's from Chile. Cool. Very cool, man. Should be fun. Thoughts on Godzilla versus King Kong? I'll enjoy it. I mean, shit. I mean, it's like big haggard monsters fighting each other. What's not to enjoy? How do you beat a monster Tomb King's army as Wood Elves? Way Watchers can do it. Zotes can do okay there. Orion can destroy monsters pretty easily. There's a bunch of ways. I use Way Watchers against Wood Elves. I use 3 of them. Or against Tomb Kings. If I'm forced into that matchup. Yeah, there's a couple ways to do it. But yeah, typically Dryad Rush in the front line with like Orion backed up by Way Watchers in the back to kill the monsters can do very well against Tomb Kings. FFAs remind me of WWF Raw. Oh, you're talking like 90s shit before they had to change that. Because it used to be called WWF in the 90s, the World Wrestling Federation. But then I think the World Wildlife Foundation like sued them or something, and like they had to like change their name. I can't remember what it was. Already up here. I think he's waiting for me. It's been a while. Joey working on a painting commission and listening to oh, smooth voice. Hey man, that's quite a compliment. I'm currently painting my Empire army in tabletop. What's a counter to Bretonnia or good against them? I don't know these days. I honestly feel like, I mean, dwarves used to be pretty good against them. Like a lot of people consider Tomb Kings to be good. I mean, it's kind of like, honestly, Bretonnian players have evolved to a point where there's not too many bad matchups for them. Yeah, I don't know. I always felt Vampire Coast is good against them, but like I've talked to some good Bretonnian players who don't care about playing them. Hey, Eledron, I recorded that, brother. It's up. It's recorded and it's uploaded to YouTube, but it'll be going up soon. Dude, I know I owe you that one. And I even mention it in the video. I'm like, this one's for you, Eledron. So that'll be going up sometime this week. It's in my backlog right now. I've already recorded it. It's rendered. It just needs to be published and everything. So any videos to help out a noob with multiplayer builds? I haven't done build guides yet. Mainly people learn on my channel by watching the battles and emulating the builds. But I will eventually do those. But I want to do it once, like, I'm kind of waiting till Game 3 to do that, because I think we'll get Game 3 sometime this year. And everything's going to change so much that it seems kind of silly to put out a build guide when there's going to be like so many new factions getting added. So I'm going to wait till Game 3 comes out to do build guides. Yeah, that's my plan. Yeah, Mackenzie, that's what it was. All right, so we're facing Bretonnia with Empire. It's a fun matchup. Fey Enchantress Double Paladin can be a righteous pain in the butt, but it's certainly winnable. So we got Swordsman here. War Wagons are actually probably your best friend here. Oh man, I'm so like out of it right now. I need to focus. Jesus. And a single Hellblaster Volley Gun is always good for the soul. It's like chicken soup. All right, let's get you going here. Hellblaster Volley Gun can be in group 6. And then we have, you know, the classic Demi Hammer. Demis trade pretty well. You don't want to fight like questing knights in open field and shit, but you know, generally they do fine. Looks good. Spearman, defend. Spearman on the flanks, and then we can get you on the flanks as well. Click you off, and then in the group. War Wagons. How do I want to do the War Wagons? I could put the War Wagons group 5. They can go do a little bit of skirmishing, tickle the pickle. And Swordsman here can be in reserve. Very good. All right, that army looks fine. So we got the Franz, we got the Demis, we have the Wagons. All's good in the realm. Yeah, so I have an Empire army in tabletop, which I use for Age of Sigmar, and I just play Cities of Sigmar. I play Hammerhall when I do play that, so I just use the Hammerhallian Lancers. So I have like 9 Demogryph Knights just lancing shit down. It's pretty fun. And it feels like you're still playing Warhammer Fantasy with the Demogryphs running around. Kazran Chevalier, fair enough. Looking forward to learning more and getting into multiplayer soon. Hey, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Wagons are really good in this matchup. They're not a meme. Like, they're incredibly strong. I can assure you. He's got a big army. My army's quite small, which is Bretonnia usually outnumbers you because of peasant mobs and shit. Let's put you guys off here so we don't friendly fire with that freaking... You don't really have to worry about Vanguard shenanigans and things like that. Hey, Frostlight, appreciate that, man. Oh, wagons are really good, trust me. They're very good in a couple matchups. This being one of them. Actually, against Vampire Counts too, they can do some good work. Country roads, take me home to a place where I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Let's go up here and do some attacks. Looks good. Alright, so the wagons will take fire off Will, and then we'll start shooting the Knights of the Lionhearted. Franz can go... you know, we gotta be careful. We don't want Franz to get caught by like a bunch of peasant bowmen fire. What are these? Oh my god. Oh, I took off fire at Will, but the wagons still are like, hey, you know, we feel like shooting here, so we're gonna shoot. We don't care what you think. Hellblaster Volley Gun, let's go ahead and see if we can snipe his damsel here. That would actually be really nice. Alright, so we're shooting into the Knights, which is good. Put the Spearmen over here to buffer a little bit. And yeah, just kind of keep pulling back. We can go ahead and put fire at Will on now and just let them kind of shoot. We're getting the damsel. A little bit aggressive play from Lewin, which is fine. We can actually get some really good stuff there. Alright, so let's go. Keep blasting him. Yeah, he's coming in pretty aggressive here, man. He's got to be careful. Hellblaster Volley Gun has gotten his Damsel of Life very low. So these demis can go ahead and just screen up here. And the wagons just keep shooting. Nope, you guys stay here. Keep shooting the Knights of the Lionhearted. These swordsmen can go engage there. And his caster has been sniped, which is super valuable. So we'll shoot these. Oh, those are Knights Errant. So we don't care about those. Let's shoot the Knights of the Lionhearted. And demis pull back. Wagons keep going. Spearmen and Franz can go over there and help out as well. And these guys just need to prepare for that charge here. Swordsmen. Looks good. And now the demis can go ahead and countercharge here, and we can get Franz to, you know, kind of lurk nearby. Hellblaster Gun. Go ahead and start shooting those Knights Errant, and we can go ahead and use Reikland Runefang to help out. And we don't have to commit to the fight per se. Keep shooting those guys. And does he have? Yeah. You know what? Killing the Peasant Archer is probably fine. Doesn't look like he's getting too aggressive here. And we might as well drop a heal over there as well. Oh, gonna miss the charge on Franz, but we have Galmaraz, so we should be okay. And Franz with Galmaraz popped, and that should actually trade quite well in that situation. Demis, let's pull him back. Swordsmen, keep moving up. Keep moving up. And these demis just take a very cautious approach here, so we can get you guys going into the Questing Knights. It's about making the Questing Knights waste their charge on the spears here. And Franz has regrowth, so I'm feeling pretty confident about that. Alright, let's move you guys, and we can go ahead and regrowth the Franz. Franz is heavily winning that duel. These demis, we'll just pull him back, keep the State Troopers moving up, and the Hellblaster can now start shooting at the Damsel again. She is most certainly in distress. Alright, Spearmen, let's go. Wagons pull back here. And yeah, engagements are looking fine. Power Stone. How are the wagons doing? Okay, wagons are good too. Okay, we shattered his lord. Franz won the duel. Franz usually wins the duel if you have his items and regrowth available and stuff. And demis, you know, we can pull him under here. We have a little bit of a lapse in our formation here. He might try and hammer through. It's hard to say. We haven't gotten his caster, so let's go after the Knights of the Lionhearted and see what we can do here. Okay, we're pretty far ahead in the balance of power. These are Knights Errant. I'm totally fine taking that fight. Demis will just massacre them. Look what they've done to my boy. Alright, pull you back. Spears back. His caster's very low. Just keep the wagons blasting. Hellblaster Volley Gun is just teeing off on his army. It's brutal damage for sure. Go after those peasant bowmen now. Alright, GG. GG. Don't mess with the Franz mullet, you get the Galmaraz, dude. Ugh. How is he? Yeah, well, Franz got 2,800 value. 900 on these demis here. Wagons, you know, they didn't have much. The battle still had a lot to fight, but the Hellblaster got 2,000 get value, which is crazy good. Yeah. Yeah, Franz is a beastly duelist. Because with Runefang plus Stand Your Ground plus Galmaraz and then healing, he can definitely beat Lewin. Without items, Lewin would probably win because of his healing, but with items, Franz will win that fight. Yeah. Alright, well, now it's time for the dreaded FFA. Oh, shit. Can't even click my buttons today. And just for a ledger on here, we're going to do another Aranessa one. So this will be Turin FFA. Take note, guys, the password is 1234. It's not 123. It's 1234. It launches mullets at my opponents. Yeah, the Hellblaster. Hellblaster mullet gun. All right. So we're going to do another Sartosa build, but we're going to change it up a little bit. Let's get the wolf. Sip on some tea. Yeah, we're doing the FFA. This is the close out the stream. I think that's wicked. He's making fun of me because on the podcast with Felcon, I said that I'm a B plus player in competitive play, like, which I think is true. So if you have a whole range of tournament players, players in general, I would say I'm like a B plus. You know, Felcon's S tier. I think most like higher level tournament players are A tier. I think I'm like a B to a B plus player. So that was like the joke. So now he's B plus player. All right. I see. All right. So we're going Sartosa. All hail the mighty, the rising from the deeps, with crooked sails and incredible tales, we're calling in the seas. So freaking epic, dude. You better start believing in ghost stories, old B plus player. You're in one. The dog barked in the living room. I love that. Oh, I thought you were making fun of me. I joked that everyone is B plus. Oh, fair play. Fair play. All right, so we got Aranessa. Aranessa's on the hunt. We need some living Sartosans. Like, it's annoying how she doesn't have Vanguard, but all of her pirates do. So I could, like, do a Vanguard, but let's change the map, too, and just do one that's more, like... The dreaded Shrine of Cain will be here. I'll play the song during deployment. Chase, I sung that in unison with your laptop. Oh, hell yeah, dude. They should have put the song in the actual game. I know they should have. Okay. Well, we're going pretty heavy in the Sartosa memes. This map is like really weird. Okay. So we definitely need to hail the mighty. And whenever I say we're going to hail the mighty, it means that we're going to use Vangeist Revenge. Because one of the most fun combos is actually using Vangeist with Aranessa, because you can net them and then blast them. It's hilarious. Oh, is it? Okay. Crumpets Panda. See, I'm out of the loop, man. How can we hail the mighty even more? I think we can hail them by bringing these units. So Chaos, Lizards, and Skaven. Ugh. Ugh. So much scary shit. Okay. Okay, I think that's fun. This army is so freaking bad. God, okay. Well, let's just throw these guys in. All right, I might have too many pirates. It might be a rule break, but whatever. I don't know. Actually, I'm good. I think I'm square here. I can't remember what this map is like. The highlight of every turn stream is when the shanty comes in and the mighty are being hailed. Me too, man. It's one of my favorite. And Kazran Chevalier, thanks again for your donation, man. So Sam Griffin, you missed all the group stage games. We already finished those, but now we are doing the dreaded FFA to close out the stream. Queen Bess is pretty mighty too, but an FFA bringing like stationary artillery can often be a death sentence. So yeah, I guarantee you there will be some hailing of the mighty here. Yeah, my army isn't good against any of these factions, like, but you know, if they bring something weird, I might be okay. We have the Sartosa living pirates. We have no zombies in our army except no, not a single zombie in our army, not a single one. We do have some vampires, but well, you know, it depends if you consider that thing a zombie or not. I guess technically it is. It would be really cool if the Vampire Coast army like sang shanties while they're marching. That would be really cool. Apex Sheep, it makes your day. Hey, glad to hear that. And most of the group stages are finishing too, which means we're going to be able to bang these out in pretty rapid succession. Hey, Martin Johnson, I got you covered, man. All right, the Shrine of Cain. Oh, shit, I probably should have picked a better map for what I brought. Oh, God, this map is ugly. It's all poorly lit. Well, as long as there's not like a fat Eshin Vanguard on me, I'll be okay. Bloated boys singing the shanty, I know. The bloated corpses would definitely have that deep resonance in their voice because of their thickness. I mean, the Necrofex Colossus technically is probably a zombie of sorts. I mean, yeah, it's, I don't know. Hard to say. All right, so we have, you know what? Let's actually mix it up a little bit. So We have Sartosa Free Company, which are the pirate infantry. And then we have basic infantry as well. I mean, they can certainly trade okay with like Skaven slaves and shit. Looks fine. These guys can be in reserve. All hail the mighty. We have the Deepcaster with Vangeist and Tidecall. We got double Colossus. And then we have the Bloody Reaver Depth Guard in the back. Because I had just enough for them, so I'm like, alright, let's do it. It's a zombie construct, yeah. Okay, so Skaven could Vanguard. Chaos isn't going to Vanguard. If they do, it's going to be a meme of Aspiring Champions. And the Lizards could Vanguard too, but I don't know. It's hard to say. It's a pretty sweet army for sure. Aranessa is here, and she gives bonus for large to, you know, the Colossus in melee, which is pretty funny, actually. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, so we need to get a high ground position, I think. Unfortunately, my Colossus aren't going to be able to shoot. Oh, my God. Wicked's army is just going to flatten me. What has he got? Oh, Tehenuin. Oh, God. I'm going to get ion cannoned. I could take, like, a really circuitous route here and just, like, chill out. Hang on. Let's evaluate things first. Let's get the Colossus here. I need to look at my opponent. So we got Chaos Horseman here. And of course it's going to be Sigvald. Don't worry. Somebody in chat wanted Sigvald, so here he is. We got Sigvald Spawn Rush. Okay, that army is actually pretty scary. Skaven or Mass Eshin, I think? Yep. We legit have a Mass Skaven Vanguard somewhere, and I don't know where they are. Oh my God, they're right here! Oh no, the Skaven, we found them! Blast them! Fire everything! Oh my God, Aranessa! Okay, we need to, like, punish these rats. I'm not going to waste a freaking net on the rats, so come on, Depth Guard, let's go. Head them off. Oh, come on, pirates. Go, go. Okay, the Skaven are here. The Skaven are in here, for sure. The Bloody Reaver Depth Guard should kill those guys, no problem. Get the Colossus marching. Go. The rats have found us. Oh no, the rats. The rats in the walls. Looks like they're attacking here, so we can just get into melee with the Colossus. Should blast those ratsies pretty quick. Okay, so he's got some skirmish cav coming in. Hopefully we can rip some shots. I could make them hail the mighty, but I think they're going to dodge it. Yeah, okay. Oh my God. It's a trap! Dude, that felt like a trap. Okay, so now I got some pirates which can advance up. My pirate infantry actually pretty good counter skirmishing for sure. Sneaky little rats. I love the old one is such a trooper, dude. That guy's awesome. Just like the haggard rat ambush in the bushes. Oh, so good. Okay, well, some of the I think we got one of the wolf rats escaped. We're gonna be on the low ground, unfortunately. We don't have too much of a choice here. Like, I figured if I meet the lizardmen up there, they would yeah. I don't know where the rest of that Skaven army is. Oh my God, Death Runners! Oh God! There's Death Runners behind me! Okay, we need to get over here. We need to, like... Yeah. Oh my God, the Skaven are behind me. Oh no! I'll make them hail the mighty if they get too close. Okay. They're pursuing. Okay, here we go. So, let's do this. So this is what? The Death Runners? So there we go. Okay. All hail the mighty. They're arising from the... something... Oh yeah, the mighty's about to be raised here for sure. Okay, okay. Blast them! Oh, those Death Runners got KO'd! Alright, so we need to move over. Let's go ahead and set up our guns here on the high ground. Try and turn around and fight. We're gonna have to send in the pirates. The Misty fight in the forest here. We definitely don't want to get trapped by Death Runners though. Alright, so we definitely made those rats pay the troll toll. I should have brought the Kraken's pull. Alright, so let's get more pirates here. You guys can shoot. You know, the pirate infantry actually will trade relatively well here. In Aranessa, let's go ahead and pop all our different buffs. Save up our Winds of Magic. We're definitely killing quite a few Death Runners down here. We are taking some damage, though, for sure. Looks like the Skaven are in a bit of a retreat. Oh, yes. Blast those filthy rats. Look at them. Look at them scatter. How are the Depth Guard doing here? Okay, let's pop the Enrage to reduce the damage we take. Okay, the Death Runners have been broken up. That's some good points for us. But they'll be back in greater numbers later. Yeah, Aranessa has a net. People just don't know because nobody uses her. Alright, so we can ignore the Skaven army now and come up this way. So I don't need to chase. I can't catch them anyways. Oh my god. Let's see what's going on up here. It's just like a giant freaking... Oh, that actually looks different than usual. The Pit of Shades. I could go right up the hill, but the problem with attacking this hill here is that gives the Skaven an opportunity to get me pretty good. Yeah, we gotta pull our characters. So we're ready to hail the mighty again. We definitely can. Maybe I take them up here and do some action. Yeah, let's do that. Man, okay. Do we send some units? Do we go this way? No, because then the Skaven are going to backstab me with like Deathmaster and shit. Colossus. Yeah, because going over here is nice. We'll send our characters. I'm fine with that. We can send like one pirate escort. Like a couple pirates to help while the main army like unifies up there. Okay. The old one's like, flee, flee. So we're going to send in some dudes just to get some points here. Just to like, you know, because we're starting to fall behind. Because we're not engaged in the combat as much as we should be. Oh god, that's so ugly. Okay, pirates, let's go. Fight Chaos Marauder should be pretty cost effective for us to fight. We have a bonus for its infantry, and pirate infantry can actually do well there. We'll go fight these Saurus with the other ones. Okay, so we're moving up here. This is costing us a lot of points, though. Hopefully this positional gambit is worth it. And, you know, he might actually come for me with Deathmaster. Although the Skaven Hounds are doing pretty well. So we got our pirates in there now. We're getting points again, which is good. The Sartosa Free Company have moved in. Got this other unit of pirates. Alright, looks good. Alright, so let's go ahead and set up here. Now the Colossus can start marching there, which means they'll start shooting. This map's definitely rough, but it makes for like interesting fights, you know? Like, let's get on the Saurus here. I don't know if there's anything we really want to make hail the mighty. Because like most of the infantry are dead, unfortunately. I guess we just grab some horsemen or something. Let's go see if we can get... Oh, you better watch out. Oh, the Colossus just blasting that sorcerer. Because the rats are kind of attacking the lizardmen from the back. Pirate infantry are actually doing quite well for themselves. Getting a lot of points for us. Alright, so... Looks like there's some AoE... You know, this is actually a good spot. Ooh, yeah. We could actually do it without using a net here. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Because we'll have enough wins to do it again soon, so... You guys ready? Oh, no, they're moving! Oh, hail the mighty! Just not going to do jack shit. Oh my god, a freaking ion cannon! This game's getting hog wild, dudes. Colossus probably should pull back now. Okay, that was a bit of a failure. But like I said, there's not too many good targets. So we're coming in now. Lizardmen are definitely in a comfortable position. Shoot these horsemen. And let's get the Colossus to start blasting Lizard Moses here. Yeah. Do we have any actual pirate infantry that can go fight the Legion? Charge in there. Oh, okay, let's move, let's move. I'm going to get Pit of Shades here, that's going to hurt. Okay, we scattered before it really hit. That's good. And how are my pirates doing over here? Oh, very good, man. The pirates are actually cleaning shit up. Okay, we'll save for, like, Vangeist business. It's got, like, Gorby's chariots causing me all sorts of problems. We should probably take out the Gorby's chariots. Otherwise, those things are really going to hurt us. Alright, so let's keep moving up. Get you guys here. I think getting his horsemen would be funny. It's off cooldown in 4 seconds. We'll move here. Yeah, because there's no infantry left, really. Oh, actually, you know what? You know, Vixturn's Death Squad's there, the Skaven. That's what we'll get. We'll save it. So I have 2 nets. I'm going to go ahead and net these bad boys down to try and kill them. And then the Depth Guard should be able to close the distance and finish them off. Little pirate pistol's doing great. Jankuya. Alright, so pirate infantry, let's unify you guys with the army. Colossus, we need to start blasting. I don't care about Lord Croak, he's not going to do much against us. We killed the chariots, which is great. And now we have our guns. So let's go ahead and start ripping our little pistols into these annoying chameleon skinks here. Aranessa is pretty good against these type of characters too. Pirate Squad, she's still chasing units down, which is awesome. Yeah, we need to finish the Henowin. Ooh, that croak could actually hurt. I could have dodged it, I suppose. And we'll use Enrage to make them take less damage. Come on, bring it down. So let's go get Croak real quick. That should be an easy one. Free points. Not free, I mean, of course, it's going to be a scrap. Wicked is a mighty player. Alright, so we have the all hands hoy here, so let's do that. Pull you guys back. Colossus, we're able to blast to Henowin. We're saving the Van Geist Revenge. We might even be able to get a 4th one, too. Go, Aranessa. Go! Do I have Death Guard polearms? Yep, they're swarming the dino, which is great. Cool, so he is down for the count. Now we just need to find the Skaven Vixtrans and get them. That's the thing. Yeah, my wife is Polish. Yeah, so I know a couple words here and there. Alright, Depth Guard polearms doing awesome work. I'm very pleased with the Bloody Reavers this game. 1300 value is awesome. Croak is getting the business from Aranessa. Now, where are the Skaven, though? Okay, so we took down to Henowin. Oh, man, we still have Sigvald. We still have freaking Sigvald. Oh, God. Okay. Let's shoot there. Pull you guys this way. Get the Sarchosa militia to chase those guys off the battlefield. We only need one, so we'll pull the other guys up. Colossus are almost low. I should have brought a Gunnery White. I knew something was kind of missing here. Alright, so let's move you guys up like so. Go there. These guys can just chase that Stegonon off the battlefield. It'll get points. I know, Sigvald waits atop of Throne of Skulls. I know. I feel like I'm like not going to be able to kill Sigvald. Although the Depth Guard polearm should do a good job of it. Haggard Sigvald hiding in the trench hunting dinos. Yeah, that's true, dude. That's really funny. Alright, we have enough for, I think, 2 Van Geists? We will. Yeah, Van Geist is what, 16? Yeah, okay. Sigvald, is he coming to fight? You better watch out, that Haggard dinosaur he was making fun of is going to come back here. Shooting Sigvald seems kind of pointless. We'll get the 2 Colossus to go start beating on him. It's not going to be pretty, but somebody's got to do it. Oh my god, they're literally just not going to be able to kill Sigvald. You know what, screw that. Well, let's let the Pirate Infantry do it. And then pull in the Depth Guard polearms. Those are probably like our highest sources of DPS here. Oh god, the solar engine's shooting me. Yeah, those Colossus definitely did some work. So we'll move over here. So Sigvald is fighting some... I think he's trying to get to my character. So we're just going to keep running past him here. Where are the Depth Guard at? Yeah, they're a little ways away. We just need to keep running past Sigvald and re-surrounding him so he can't like get what he wants. Rats might be coming from this direction too. The Colossus are able to chase that bad boy down. Siggy's surrounded. Depth Guard are moving in. Alright. The Skaven stuff should be here soon-ish. So we can make them hail the mighty for sure. Depth Guard polearms have moved in, so now we can replace the pirates. The Depth Guard polearms, surround him and then re-attack. And we have like taunt and a couple other things we could use to make him die a little bit quicker, hopefully. Skaven have a nice little high ground position though, that's for sure. I think we have a couple guns that could maybe advance on them. Because the, oh god, he's coming. Oh god! Oh no! Be gone, Sigvald! Okay. What do we got here? Eshin units. Haggard-ass Sigvald's just chasing me and I can't get rid of him. Oh my god, this Skaven slowed me! Use the Luckman. Oh, look, it's the Eshin Witchcraft! No! No! Don't you dare kill my caster. Come on. I seriously am going to have to use everything to kill Sigvald here. The Colossus are just going to march in that position. I feel like I just got to go for him with everything here. God, this sucks. I didn't want to have to fight Sigvald, but I guess we're going to. So we'll get Aranessa attacking there. We have the Depth Guard. We should be able to win that. And the Skaven army is getting hunted. Oh, that's where the Vixtran's Death Squad is. Okay. Well, that means the end of those boys. So I guess we're just going to 3v1 Sigvald here and see if we can beat him. Certainly doesn't feel like it. Okay, let's pull in the Colossus too. Aranessa is not... I mean, like, we just can't even damage him. Oh! The solar engine shooting us too. Okay. Come on, Colossus. I can't lose Aranessa. I don't want to use my Spearfisher's Net because I want to save that for the Skaven later. Yeah, Vixtrans is going to come though, so we just have to... Maybe the Colossus can like deal with him? I don't know, we'll taunt him. We don't have invos too, so we can't like heal. Aranessa is now like super buttered up for the... God, he's such a freaking linebacker, dude. Look at this, like Sigvald's just taking no damage. The Death Guard, I guess, since he's in rage. Yeah, he's going after my characters there, which is pretty strong. Alright, Aranessa needs to run up the hill here. Take some pirate cohorts with her. I have Tide Call, like I don't have anything for dueling, although Sigvald is dying to the Colossus. Let's move them up here too. Oh, juke. Ouch, Aranessa might break. She's a negative 17. I don't have anything to salvage it. Okay, so we just need to like try and escort her. Solar Engine's like, she's running out of range of the Solar Engine, which is good. Okay. So let's try a little something here. I know Deathmaster's nearby, which is problematic. Okay, we're doing it. Might as well. It'll force him back at the very least. Let's run with Aranessa. Oh. All hail the mighty. The rats are running into the guns. Alright, that did some damage. It wasn't the best hailing of the mighty I've ever done, but it was not insignificant. Alright, so Sigvald's broken. The two Colossus were able to get him. Oh, Deathmaster lurks, dude. Look at him. Screw that shit. Oh, he's coming for me. We cannot let Sigvald rally. Like, no way. The Bastiladon's out of ammo. Aranessa is very low. Oh my god, Deathmaster is such a threat here. Alright, let's go. Colossus. It's time. Spearfish him! Throw the fisher's net on him! Alright, let's go, Colossus. We need you to kill this rat. Taunt him also. Aranessa, I'm sorry, we had to use your last net there. There's some shit over here. Oh my god. Oh, the Skaven are coming. They're gonna free Sigvald! No! No! Alright, we have a tide call. I don't know if it can reach here. Need to get a little bit closer. How close are we to another wins here? Alright, let's do that. Okay, so the Colossus should be able to deal with that. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Come on. Hail the mighty. Oh, hail the mighty. Get him. Oh, those. Oh, God. Give it to us, precious. Oh, yes. That felt so good. Oh, God. That was so good. Okay, we just wiped the elite Skaven units there. Oh, baby. Come on. No, Sigvald's back. No, not the Dreadlord. You had to spend so long killing him. Alright, Colossus, let's go. Let's go. Depth guard, get in there. Use Enrage so you don't die. If possible. We have to get Sigvald. We can't let him get on our Lord. Because he will kill our Lord. Oh, man. Okay. Come on. We have taunts. We're pretty much... We've cast like 4 Vangeist Revenge this game. There's not going to be too much more in the Winds of Magic department. Oh, use the leadership buff. Okay, Sigvald's almost dead. But he's still steady, even though he's at like 1%. Sigvald's such a monster. Okay, Manon's Revenge. Get some ward save. Oh god, okay. We need a Colossus to save Aranessa. Come on. Oh god, no! No, god, no! Come on. Knock the rat over. Let's go. Knock him over! Oh, the screen of the gods! Oh, baby. Oh god, that was so good. Come on, alright. Let's go after those rats. Not today. Not today, says the Colossus. As we move towards the Skaven army now. I think we have enough points where there's no chance of catching us here. So we'll just get one Colossus going. Aranessa's getting pebbled, but like if I run, I'm gonna just get hunted here. Okay, let's go. These are Gutter Runner Slingers. So let's get his characters, yeah. And we can go for the Bastiladon here. That's some nice points. Although if it hits Aranessa once, she's probably gonna die. Oh god, the slingers are set up again. Oh man, she's gonna go by pebbles. Okay, we shattered that bad boy. My poor pirate infantry are just gonna get wrecked. I'll try and run like behind the Colossus. Man, he's got so much ammo. The old one, he's got so much ammo. Here we go. Let's move. I got Manon. I know Deathmaster's lurking nearby, so I have to be very privy to that. I don't know how that Eshin Sorcerer... Oh, Concealment Bomb's okay. Gutter Runners are pretty quick. Oh, the Ninja Star! Oh, Aranessa, no! Oh, Aranessa's dead. She's gone. Alright, so now I just have the 2 Colossus, which I should probably keep together. Aranessa did great this game, though, guys. Let's be real here. She was a champ. The Skaven might be the last man standing, actually. Okay, okay. Chaos has left the game. I guess we just fight. Yeah, no, Deathmaster's gonna be really good here. We need to kill the Deathmaster, like get some lucky RNG. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die, but I should have enough points that it doesn't matter. So army losses and free-for-all aren't really a thing. Oh, he's using the Whirl of Weeping Blades. How metal is that? Alright, come on, Colossus. I just need like 1 attack to connect here. Oh no. Oh no, the dreaded Skaven. Come on. How many chevrons do you have? Ooh, 2,400 value. It's pretty solid. Colossus are like really bad at hitting foot characters. Like really, really bad. Like he just like randomly shoots over there, right? Like I don't even know what's happening here. All right. I think the Skaven will be the last one standing. But alas, I think we got enough points to pull it out. The master plan. I love it. The old one. What a he's really in the spirit of Skaven here. As that appears to be it. You know, a part of me wants to like start using Aranessa in some like tournament. Hopefully, Ledron, that was good for you. There will be another one coming for you, but that's that one was for you as well. So cheers, man. So we pulled it out, but you know, the Skaven get the moral victory of being the last man standing. Yeah, pretty epic for sure. Let's look at the values. So 715, 3,400 on my my caster here. Check that out, guys. It's pretty sexy. And yeah, the Pirates all did good, honestly. I'm pretty pleased with them. The Colossus were huge, though. Check that shit out. 3,100 value there, 24, and the depth guard actually got 2,000. You'll forever remember this as the day that you almost beat Captain Aranessa Saltspite. Well played to Wicked, Chironomus, the old one, and the Mad Mullet. Yes. So there you have it, my friends. Glorious stuff indeed. That is the dreaded FFA to end all FFAs. It's the best pirate I've ever seen. Now, on the subject of pirates, we're going to close you guys out with a glorious look at Lady Turn's Vampire Coast custom art she's done. If you guys are interested, it's up on eBay right now, I think. She'll be dropping links and all that sort of good stuff. So here it is, Lady Turn's art. And to close out the stream, my friends, we will play All Hail the Mighty. But first, thank you so much to Eledron, Kazran Chevalier, Eledron again, Frostlight, Magic D, Captain Gimbalok, Tango Hade, Jared Barreto, and Leo Gonzalez for your donations. Thank you guys so much. The value on the caster, 3,400. Yes, correct. All right. So thanks again for watching, guys. Really appreciate your donations. Congratulations to Eltharion and Ungram. They're going to be advancing in the group stages of the Legendary Lord Tournament. And that is it for today. So my friends, will be back streaming tomorrow. Small chance we won't, but more than likely we will be. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. And videos, all sorts of good stuff coming up in the horizon here. So, all right. Cheers, guys. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you around.
The blood runs cold. We take our loot, but don't